And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the federales are quote-unquote searching Joe Biden's Rehoboth Beach home. But I thought if the feds came to your house and they searched, that was called a raid. How are the feds searching your home with no search warrant? Oh, because they volunteered. How do you volunteer to let the feds search your house? How much sense does that make? Do you have a choice in the matter? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, a topic that was brought up last time, Jason Whitlock giving his 2 cents on the whole Tyre Nichols situation, talking about black women and baby mama culture, single parent household rates possibly contributing to the whole situation, meaning the victim and the officers that beat him. We'll talk about that particular comment a little bit more a little bit later. Also, I'm not quite sure I touched on the TJ Holmes and Amy Robach story, no pun intended, but I want to talk a little bit more about that as well, because there's a comparison to make between them and another very famous on-air couple covering the news on a certain network called MS13DNC. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, the ice princess out there in Finland who was not 59 years old, trying to become an ice princess. It didn't work. Also, you have a coach impersonating a player. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And let me get some lights going on here. I'm coming on to the darkness. There we go. Thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoyed what you are hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're wondering, hey, how'd you just do that right now with these lights? I have lights that I control electronically. So I could just push a button and they'll come on. Same thing, like I could turn them off, or I could turn them on. It comes in handy when I forget to put them on, or when when I'm trying to save seconds and I can adjust the lighting and however it is. So yeah, shout out to these lights. No promo for the lights because they're not a sponsor yet. And if you guys are watching, light company who shall not be mentioned, give me a sponsorship. We can make something happen. But yeah, shout out to the lights. And thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. It's being recorded live on the YouTubes. If you're watching on YouTube live, thank you. If you're watching on a replay on YouTube, thank you. And also, you can find me on your favorite audio streaming platform. That's Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box. You can also just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And we got quite a bit to talk about today. But before I go down that road, let's give a shout out to the sponsors. As always, you guys know the best source of news and information is patriotpost.us. Their link shall be in the description box. You can also go to my website and find it there. And speaking of my website, that is my other sponsor, me. My website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY. Their letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page of the website, you can find articles that correspond with videos that I produce. So if you ever have a question like, hey, ABL, where'd you get that piece of information? Where'd you get that source? Everything will be right there on the website, on the front page, in the corresponding article, through links in my sources. And I always have a variety of sources, left, right, independent, random, normie, non-normie, irregular, regular. All of that will be right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com, right there on the front page. And if you want to contact me, feel free to do so. You can send me things through my email address, my snail mail address. If you spam my email with dozens of emails per day, I'm going to block you. I won't see a thing. So please don't do that. Don't abuse the email, but it's right there on the website if you want it. There is also my snail mail address if you want to send me things through the mail. And thank you guys that send me things that way. I appreciate you. I may not always recognize you, but I appreciate you. Matter of fact, I got a mug today from one of you guys from a firehouse, a firefighter's, what they call a firehouse. but where firefighters are. Thank you for that. I appreciate you for coming from Texas. I got that today. But all of that's right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can also find my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all right there. I have a TikTok as well, but I've not put it on my website because I'm not quite sure if I want to really use it. But I might be forced to pretty soon here. Also, what else we got? Oh, PSA. I got to mention this all the time because this has become a serious problem. I get emails sometimes. People are falling for this. Now, sometimes on my videos, you'll see comments that look like me, but they're not me. And you know the best way to tell, first of all, I have the verified check next to my name. It'll look much different than anybody's comment. It'll be highlighted. You'll be able to tell if I respond to your comment or not. It's not going to be a mystery, but sometimes it can kind of be confusing. It looks like me, but it's not me. And another way to tell that it's not me is if they ask you for any kind of money. I will never ask you for money, ever, ever, ever. I will never be in a YouTube comment saying, hey, text me on this sketchy link or on this sketchy phone number to WhatsApp or some other kind of random place, and then give me some money to invest in cryptocurrency. I will never do that. And as a matter of fact, no YouTuber will ever do that. Nobody. I don't even care if it's a crypto YouTuber. They're not going to ask you in the comment section to donate to them or to call them or anything like that. You cannot call me except for on the show. There's a number right there. It'll be in the description box. And also when the ticker at a certain point, you'll see it. That number is only available when I'm on the show. It'll never, ever, ever, ever be me in the comments saying, hey, hit me up. I got some money for you. It's an opportunity. These are scammers. And if you give them money, the money's going to be gone and you won't get it back. So please, please, please. And this year, 2023, year of the tiger, the rabbit, whatever it is. Matter of fact, I got a funny video before we get to the topics. Whatever year this is, please, please, please do not get scammed. All right. And again, if you want to know if it's me or not, if you have any questions about contact information, go to the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also go to the merch website, not anthonyblogan.com, but you can go there for the merch website, but the merch website is ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Check it out right now. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right on the website. Feel free to go ahead and check it out. All right. That is ablmerch.com. And speaking of videos, we got quite a few on deck for today, but I'm not quite sure if I showed you guys this, but the caption here says Chinese zoo said goodbye to the year of the tiger. So it was year of the tiger. Now it's year of the rabbit. Okay. So I guess 2023 is year of the rabbit, right? And this is what a Chinese zoo did to commemorate this occasion. I do not speak Mandarin, Canto, whatever this is, the Chinese language. Y'all, please, if y'all can hear what they're saying, y'all let me know in the comments. But I'm going to describe this for you if you can't see it, if you just listen to the audio only. So what you have here, it looks like two zookeepers who are outside. They have on coats and earmuffs and whatnot, so it's probably cold out there. There's this little backdrop of some type of lion or something. I see some Chinese lettering on the left-hand side, and they have on these big gloves. One of the zookeepers is holding like a baby tiger, very small tiger, and the other zookeeper is holding a rabbit, a nice-sized rabbit. Now, I don't know what their intentions were in this particular clip, okay? The theme is, let's say goodbye to the year of the tiger and hello to the year of the rabbit. But introducing a rabbit to a tiger, I'm not sure how that's going to go. Now, there won't be any blood here, but you'll get the picture. Sorry for the loud noises. RP headphone users, including myself. Let's try that one more time without the ear-piercing noise. 虎兔交接仪式现在开始。虎兔交接仪式现在开始。Now, I want to know, what was the alternative for this whole introduction? You introducing a rabbit to a tiger? I mean, come on. All they see right there is midnight snack, lunchtime, dinner time, breakfast, all of that. Tea and crumpets. That's all they really see. A box of Cheez-Its, Okay, popcorn at the movies. This is all they see. They don't really see, oh, this is some kind of thing where I got to be nice and gentle to the rabbit. No, I'm going to eat the rabbit. We're talking about animals here. Okay, shout out to all the vegans.
虎兔交接仪式现在开始。
Now, they said nobody was hurt. They said there was no, they said they were able to separate them. I'm not quite sure if that's true. I don't know about that. I don't know how you're going to separate a tiger from a rabbit. Now, granted, it was baby tiger. Maybe they're able to kind of get the tiger away from the rabbit. But you're talking about no brain, no common sense there. I mean, what are you doing? Why would you do something like that? I mean, that's like feeding the rat to a snake in the cage. I mean, what is going to happen in that situation? Tiger's gonna tiger. That's right, Vladimir. Tiger is gonna tiger. All right. At a certain point, we got to understand biology, basic stuff about animals, about life on Earth. Okay. Yeah. Predators. You got these rodents are typically like morsels of food. Rats and mice and little small rodents like that. That ain't nothing but a quick snack for a predator. All day long. Even your house cat will eat a predator. I mean, will eat a little small rodent, a rat or a mouse or something like that. Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you got a nice cat, maybe even the dog, they'll come bring you a little gift. They go outside, roaming around, show up at the front door, or if you got a little doggy door in the front, they'll bring a dead rat right in there. Like, hey, thank you, owner, for being so nice to me. Here's a present. It's like, no, I don't really want that, but I digress. Anyway, we got topics on deck. We have topics on deck. And where do I begin? I think I want to start with, let's start with the federales raiding Joe Biden, or excuse me, not raiding Joe Biden, searching Joe Biden. Now, this is crazy. I mean, y'all, please, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I want to be wrong. Y'all, I want to be corrected. But since when did the federales come to your house and search it without a search warrant and search it without there being, let me rephrase it. Since when did the federales come to your house and search it with the option to not be there? Because from what I heard, the White House said they gave them permission. They're cooperating. Do you have a choice in the matter? If the feds come to your house, is there a choice on whether they're going to search or not? It's like, look, we could come in here voluntarily. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. Choice is yours. The easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. We can just come in here voluntarily, no search warrants, no court action, or we could just bust the door down and raid it like we did Mar-a-Lago. But I'm not sure that option is ever available to anybody else. If the feds need to come to your house, they're going to come in your house with a search warrant and the whole thing. They're going to raid it the same way they did Donald Trump. And the way the media are portraying this is crazy. Let me see if I can find the clip right quick, and then I'm going to talk about it. But the media are doing their best to spin this. You're talking about like a dreidel, okay, like a top hat, like a basketball or Harlem Globetrotters fingertip. They're trying to spin that thing like the globe. But it's not a thing that really can be spun successfully without there being some questions like, okay, does that make any sense? Let's see what Kristen Welker of MS13 DNC says. Let's check it out.
Mika, that's absolutely right. According to 3 sources familiar with this matter, FBI agents, as we speak, are searching President Biden's Rehoboth Beach home for classified documents. This comes, of course, after there have been a discovery of a number of batches of documents at his think tank here in Washington and also at his home in Wilmington, Delaware. Mika, that's absolutely right.
So, okay, that's the general gist of it. They're searching the Rehoboth Beach, Rehoboth, whatever, in Delaware. You know, he has 2 houses, one out there at the beach in Delaware and the other one in Wilmington, Delaware. And fun fact, before I continue here, aren't the Biden administration and everybody on the left big champions of climate change and talking about, oh, we got to do things to the sea level's rising. We got 10 years left or we're going to die. You're going to have the ocean. It's going to overtake New York City. Isn't that what they say? Well, do you know that Joe Biden has not 1, but 2 waterfront properties where he lives? Obviously, the one in Rehoboth Beach, that's on the beach. So it's right there on the water in Delaware. But in Wilmington, there's a lake. Like there's a lake or some kind of water right there. I'm not sure, that might be the Atlantic Ocean. It might be a lake or a bay. Whatever it is, there's water behind his house. Let me see if I can find Joe Biden's house right quick. And I'll just show you where he lives. I know there's the one house in Wilmington, and there's another house on the beach. I was looking at her like, wait a minute. It's like he has 2 waterfront properties. That's crazy. Let's see if I can find that right quick. Now, here's the one property, the Rehoboth Beach. See, you see, they're literally right there on the beach. I guess that's their house in the background. So they're literally right there on the beach. But, hey, man, we got climate change happening. So you guys, okay, no gas stoves in your house, although they have a gas stove. No gas stoves in your house and don't build any waterfront property. They got gas stoves, 2 waterfront properties, all that good stuff, right? They're flying on private jets, doing all that stuff, but they tell you no gas stoves, no waterfront property, don't fly on jets, reduce your carbon footprint. It's so dumb. It's so bogus. That's why, that's part of the reason why the whole climate thing is just ridiculous. It's just people trying to get money. It's a grift, really. It's a grift. It ain't nothing. It's not real at all. It's not real in the least bit. So, but anyway, back to the whole thing about Joe. So they are raiding his property, but calling it a search. Since when did anyone else have that type of luxury to say, oh, well, you know what? I'm not really getting raided by the federals. We're just searching. They're just trying to find stuff. Trying to find more classified documents. I think they said that the National Archives recommends that anybody that was in office with a high level clearance, like, former vice presidents, hey, you guys search your houses voluntarily to see if you have anything. I think Mike Pence did that. He searched his house voluntarily and self-reported some so-called classified documents. But they're not giving Joe Biden an opportunity to do that. They're not letting him just search his own house or Hunter, the crackhead. If you want to find some stuff, crackhead can find it. If there's some crack linked to it, if they told him, hey, man, there's some crack in the classified documents, he'd be a whole bloodhound out there. He would find them documents in 5 seconds. But anyway, they're not letting anybody in his family do it. They're not letting the lawyers do it. They're not letting anyone else do this other than the feds. That's a raid, but they don't want to call it a raid because on one hand, they want to throw Joe Biden away. They want this to stain him. They keep bringing it up in the news. It's an everyday story. They're finding batches of documents here and there and everywhere. They're finding it by the Corvette and the World Dance cookie tin. They're finding it under his bed. They're finding it in his garage, in the washing machine, filing cabinet, wherever. They're finding it in this little junk drawer in the kitchen with his plastic silverware and stuff like that. Ketchup packets. They're finding it right there. They're finding it stuff everywhere. And they keep slow dripping the news. They could just do all this in one day and it'd be done with. And the news cycle would continue on for 72 hours. Then it'd be done. They might bring it up occasionally on some of the conservative networks like a Fox. But after that, it'd be over with. But what they're doing right now is a continuous slow leak. And they're going to keep on doing this to keep it in the news so it never dies down. It's like slowly putting logs in the fire to keep it burning. That's what they're doing with the Joe Biden story. Because they want to throw him away to usher in a Gavin Newsom to be the 2024 DNC nominee. But at the same time, they don't want to completely tarnish the Democratic brand. They could do a raid and have the whole thing like they did with Roger Stone. Remember Roger Stone and the whole situation? So they wanted to arrest Roger Stone. And rather than just getting him right there in D.C. where he always is, at a coffee shop or somewhere, rather than doing that, they had to go to his house. What was that, in Florida? And they had the feds in the boat behind his house. I mean, talking about some, like he was Bin Laden, like SEAL Team 6. And then they tipped off CNN before the whole thing happened. Before the feds got there, CNN was already right there. So you're making it be a spectacle. It's a show. It's a dog and pony show. It's a Banana Republic type situation. When you put on a show for the world and for the country to see, to set an example, to send a political message, This is Banana Republic type stuff. All right. Are we a first world nation or not? If we are, I can't really tell when you do stuff like that. But rather than going about it in the Roger Stone way, you do it on a low, don't tell anybody, give him an advance notice and all of this. And here's something else. If you give him an advance notice, then he has time to destroy evidence, doesn't he? If there's some real classified documents that should not be there that can get him some fed time or would raise the constituents' suspicions, if that's in this house, then he has time to dispose of it. Why wouldn't he? If you tell him a month ahead of time, hey, man, we coming to your house, go there prepared, there's no search warrant, he could do that. I mean, it wouldn't even be illegal because there's no search warrant. He's not trying to, eliminate evidence. This whole thing is crazy, but I'm not really surprised. But again, they want to throw him away by having the news out there, but they don't want to tarnish the Democratic Party's brand because it still want to be strong for the next election. They want it to be a thing where it's Joe Biden's fault. He's the one that had the classified documents. And the Democratic Party, we were vigilant. We were trying to make sure that everything was good. And we wouldn't be seen as a unifying force because we want everybody on both sides of the aisle to show their documents. Not only Trump, but Joe Biden, Mike Pence, and everybody else. It's a con and a grift. And that's the whole strategy going forward here. I told y'all that 2022 would be crazy with the elections. And we are right now in the 2024 season, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, we're here right now. Trump already announced she's going to run. Nikki Haley announced today, if I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find what she said. Nikki Haley announced today that she's going to run. No surprise there. We all pretty much saw that one coming. Let me see. And she's going to launch her bid on February 15th. And check it out. Nikki Haley poised to enter a 2024 presidential race. And you know what's funny about this? You know what's very funny about this? I've not seen any of the major news outlets speak about race here. Because Nikki Haley is from India. Well, her parents are from India. Her parents are from India, Indian immigrants. She's like first generation American. Her birth name is Namrata Randhawa. Nikki is one of her middle names that her parents gave her. So it's not like some kind of fake name. And the Haley comes from her ex-husband or her current husband or something like that. Like when she was married or still married right now, that's her husband's name. So you may think, if you don't know about her background, oh, this is a white woman. No, she's Indian, actually, from India, red dye Indian. But I've not heard media talk about race right here. I've not heard that at all. Usually they say, first X, Y, and Z race, person to do this first. And then a woman, she's an Indian woman, so double minority. A brown person, not really brown. I hate that term. That's why I hate that term, because it makes no sense. They will say that Nikki Haley is a brown person. I'm a black person. Does it make any sense? Do I appear to be black? This microphone is black. Am I black? Look at the contrast between the microphone and me. Do I look like I'm black or brown? I'm brown. Is she brown? I'm not quite sure what shade of brown that is, but they'll say I'm black and she's brown. I digress. The whole point is that the race narrative here has not really been brought up. And I'm just wondering why that is. Is it because race doesn't matter until that person is on your side if you're a leftist? That's kind of how that goes. People on the left all the time will hit my inbox with all kinds of racist. I've never been called so many N-words in my life until I became a conservative. Never to my face, though. They're very soft like that. They would never come up to me and do something like that. But it's always behind a dog avatar or something like that. It'd be 15 cats in one picture as an avatar on Twitter or somewhere, anonymous emails, N-word this, N-word that, from the left. You hate your own people, you hate your own people, you hate yourself. That'd be what it is I get from them on the left. And there's always, I say 90% of the time, a white liberal that does something like that, right? So my point behind saying that is race, they purport themselves to be the champions of diversity, and they want to really be out there for that. They want to really push diversity forward. They champion different races, but only when that particular race has their same ideals. It's almost like race doesn't matter as much as ideology, how they behave, what they think. I mean, that's the way it should be, right? But on the flip side of that, they're racist, and they want to tell you that you're the racist. Funny how that works. But anyway, I digress. Now, Nikki Haley, I would not vote for Nikki Haley. Nothing against Nikki Haley. I mean, just her policy is not really my cup of tea. I know I'm getting Dick Cheney vibes, honestly. Not really my choice. My choice, of course, would be between Trump and DeSantis. And I think if I'm trying to win and not just have it be personal and feelings involved, I'd vote DeSantis because he has the best chance to win. Not as much baggage, no baggage, really. Trump is probably the most popular still, but has a ton of baggage. It's like a double-edged sword. A lot of popularity, still probably the front runner in the GOP, but a ton of baggage. And you win elections by getting the middle, that 5 to 10% who kind of flip-flop every election. You got to get them. And I'm not sure Trump can do that in 2024. In 2016, yes, of course. 2024, this is a long time. If you're right around my age, like I'm almost 40, right? Think about how different 1986 was compared to 1994. That was a big difference. It's only a 4-year difference, but 1986 to 1994 was a dramatic difference. So think about 2016 versus 2024. Think about kids that were aged 16 in 2016 and are now 24 years old in 2024. Big difference. You see what I mean? So I think that some things that worked back then may not work right now. And I wish it wasn't that way, but I can't live in wishland. I can't live in fantasyland. I got to live in reality. So it is what it is. The baggage is fake. I would agree with that, JBGA, but it doesn't matter to the people that think it's real. It doesn't matter. You see what I mean? It's like, okay, if someone thinks that they have 85 genders all in their one body and it changes by the second, I can say it's ridiculous and that it's not real. But if they believe it, how am I going to convince them how am I going to tell them anything different? It's like, look, sir, ma'am, Sam, whatever your pronouns are, you do not have 85 genders in your body. As a matter of fact, there are only 2 genders. I can say that to this person, but are they going to receive me? Are they going to hear me? I mean, I'm not really sure that's going to happen, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Darren P says it'll be DeSantis or Trump versus Gavin Newsom. Yes, absolutely. 100%. And they're talking about Biden might run again. So this is very interesting timing for this because, you know, all this stuff about the raid and the search, whatever they want to call it, is coming out. And they said that the union dress is like coming right around the corner. I think it'd be in a week from now. Said that the union dress coming up. And then after that, he may announce he's going to run again because everybody's going to, we're right in the 2024 season. Everybody's announcing. Nikki Haley announced, Trump announced, Biden might announce, Gavin Newsom probably going to announce. It'll be a bunch of guys that announce back to back to back, and everybody's going to run. Kamala Harris won't run. Kamala Harris has no chance. They know that. They know that. Kamala Harris is only chosen to be the vice president to go do stuff like go to your man's funeral. What's his name? To go to Tyre Nichols' funeral. She'll do minority outreach. That's her job in the administration. That's it. That's all that she does. And also, it was a campaign promise from Biden. Remember that? Biden said, hey, we're going to elect, or it was like a bunch of pressure put on him from guys like Charlamagne the God, which is probably off scripted anyway, from the DNC, talking about, hey, are you going to promise us you're going to pick a black female vice president? That was their request, and they got it. It doesn't matter if she is competent or not. It's really irrelevant because she's not running the show anyway. Neither is Biden. They have staffers in the deep state and everybody else running the show for them. Every day they get an itinerary. Okay, you're going to talk about this. You're going to say this. You're going to go out there in the press conference. You're going to call that reporter, this reporter. Here's their name and their picture. Their whole day is scripted down to their gestures. And sometimes Biden, being 1,000 years old, will read what his actual gesture is. It's like reading the script. And in the script, it'll have instructions for you. Like, look to the left, look pensive, look sad. And he'll read that part. That's how incompetent he is, but it's also how much all this is done behind the scenes. They're not in control. So having Kamala Harris run would be useless. She was polling at 0% in the 2020 presidential race. And what has she done now that would get her any kind of favor? Biden was a vice president and he was able to succeed, but people loved Barack Obama. People still, to this day, love Barack Obama. They love him. But do they love Joe Biden? No. Kamala Harris, where has she been? She's been on vacation. She might as well just not even show up for work. She might as well just phone it in. Go back to the crib and work from home. Be a telecommuter. Do it that way. But they'll activate her occasionally to go do some outreach. Okay, Black History Month, you Black enough. We know when you Indian, grew up in French Canada for most of your teenage formative years. But check it out. You're brown enough, go out there and go to that man's funeral. Okay, next to what's the man's name? The fat, skinny? Oh, Al Sharpton. Right next to him, Jesse Jackson and everybody else. Go out there and engage in the grift. Smile for the cameras, wave, and go back to DC. That's how it is. When the next black guy, when the next black guy dies, and it's kind of suspicious, and everybody gets upset, and they don't normally get upset about some random black guy getting killed, beat down, shot, dying, or whatever. When that happens, you go out there and you become the face of it and give a riveting speech like the passage of time is the passage of time. And the importance of water is important because water is important. Go out there, give a riveting speech, and go back to DC. First thing smoking, Air Force 2, 1, whatever. We don't care, man. Matter of fact, get on Spirit and hop in coach. We don't got time for all this, man. We don't got time. We're focusing on 2024, okay? We got bigger fish to fry than your particular travel plans, Miss Kamala Harris. I'm getting triggered, so I digress. But yeah, she's not going to run. It's really pointless. They want Gavin Newsom. He'll have success, okay? Because your normies at the crib, your soccer moms, they think he's handsome. They like California. They like Hollywood. They don't know about California, really. They don't know what California is like for real in a place like Los Angeles, San Francisco. They've not seen what I've seen. We've seen some things and some stuff over in California. They just know what the image of California is. And they like Gavin Newsom, the way he looks. They don't know any kind of policy at all. They don't know about how crazy it is and the mass exodus of California right now. People are leaving the state to go Arizona, Nevada, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, New York, etc. They're leaving. They don't know about that. So they just put him out there and he'll have success in the primary and in the general. It's simple. Because if you're watching this, you are pretty informed about politics. You're informed much more than the average person. The average person has no idea what's going on. They have no clue. They don't even know who the vice president is for real, let alone her qualifications or if they should vote for her in 2024. So yeah, that's all that it is. All right. So yeah, shout out to everybody in here watching. If you enjoyed what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. You're correct, Jackie. Gavin Newsom is Nancy Pelosi's nephew. That is correct. Yep. That is correct. That's how it works. There's always like a lot of nepotism and stuff going on in government. Karine Jean-Pierre, the press secretary for the White House, she's married to Suzanne Marveau, who just recently resigned from CNN, if I'm not mistaken. It's a lot of that going on. It'll be somebody in government that is related to somebody in the media. When Andrew Cuomo was the governor of New York, his brother, Chris, was on CNN. It's a bunch of stuff like that going on. These unholy alliances, pardon me, are part of what keeps the deep state together. Because if you do anything, you can have your friend, your brother, your husband, your daughter, son, wife, whatever, cover for you. That's just how it goes. All right. Hey, you know what? We're about to raid Roger Stone right quick. Check it out. I'm going to call my wife over at CNN and she'll get the first scoop. That's how it goes. You see? But I will go ahead and move on. We got a few topics on deck for tonight. Oh, Jason Whitlock. Let's talk about this right quick. Jason Whitlock made a statement people got really upset about. He didn't say anything wrong. What he said was correct in general. However, I wouldn't have said it at that moment because I know what people are. People are not going to compartmentalize. All they're going to do is hear that and get offended and ignore the fact that it made sense, the fact that it was factual. It's like what I get sometimes when I say certain things, people will ignore the fact that I told the truth and they'll focus on how offended they are that I said it. You see what I'm saying? Now, I understand some may see that as contradictory. Like, hey, man, you say certain things, people get offended, and you're still going to say it. Yes. But let's say, for example, in this situation, I spoke on the facts of the case rather than kind of esoteric things that are kind of related to this, but may not be related to this. I don't speak on things that can have an argument, that can have holes poked in the argument. Let me just play this right quick, then you'll understand what I'm talking about if you've not seen it already. I'm gonna try to not show some of this because it kind of got age gated on YouTube. I didn't realize that there was video of the incident playing in the background. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna just have the chat going as normal, and then I'll play the audio in the background so you can hear what's going on. This is Whitlock on Tucker Carlson, Fox News. Check it out.
Everyone's behaving inappropriately, including these 5 Memphis police officers. It's an open and shut case. The camera from above captures the police doing something totally illegal. The second-degree murder charges are warranted. This is going to be a revisitation of the Walter Scott, the guy that got shot on camera by a cop in the back. He got convicted, went to prison.
So right away, Whitlock is saying that the whole thing was wrong. It's like Walter Scott, they should go to jail. So right away, he's saying that it was wrong, and that's just it. And he's saying that should be where it stops. It shouldn't be about race. It should be about, hey, you did something that was wrong, and that's it. Race shouldn't really be involved in it, and I agree with that. I totally agree. Why bringing up race here? Race only gets brought up when the left and the mainstream media have a way to try and monetize it or a way to benefit from it some kind of way. That's the only time race gets brought up.
Open and shut case. This is too. I don't get what people are protesting about. These are 5 black officers. The victim is black. The police chief is black. The police have been fired and charged, and they will be convicted, I would assume, by a predominantly black jury in a city that's 65% black. So the system is going to work here. What the other system that's working is the corporate media's insistence on promoting racial division at the behest, in my view, of the military-industrial complex. They want us all looking at this and not looking at what they're doing in Ukraine as they drag America and the world into World War III. This is a distraction, in my opinion. CNN hyped this video like they were hyping the Super Bowl. And there's really only 60 seconds of relevant content. You show the police misconduct from overhead as they brutalize this man and make it clear this is an open and shut case and the guys are going to be convicted, and we move on.
So right there, he's talking about how bad it was. It was terrible, atrocious. Guys are going to go to jail, etc. So the pro-wacks, the pro-blacks and all the people that are out there talking about Whitlock is Uncle Tom and the race traitor. How can you say that? I don't understand. What did he say here that was wrong? I've not heard anything that was wrong yet. He's not saying the guy should get off for what they did. He's saying the guy should go to jail. And I agree with that. Like, the guy resisted. And, what I said was, to get to that, What I said was you shouldn't resist arresting. You should just stop resisting arrest. Don't resist arrest, which is a true thing. I'm not saying what the guys did to him was wrong, was right. What I'm saying is that if he doesn't resist arrest from the beginning, then officers don't beat him to death. It's simple. Were they wrong, the officers? Yes. Was it wrong to resist? Yes. If you don't do a thing that's wrong to begin with, then you're not going to be put in a situation where the officers are going to beat you down and kill you. That's kind of what I see. Now, a rumor is that the officer knew one of the officers knew the guy and there was a personal beef. That's only a rumor. I've not seen that anywhere substantiated. I've just heard about a rumor. So I can't say that's correct. I can't say that the officer knew the guy. I don't have any evidence for that. All I see is random posts on social media with no real evidence to back it up. I don't know who their mutual friend is, if there is one. I don't know about that. So I can't put that into the evidence.
They treated this like a Super Bowl, enraging people, promoting the violence, and this is the most important story in the history of the planet. It's not. What's going on in Ukraine and our military involvement in Ukraine, that's the most important story going on in the world.
That's right.
But
Yes,
they don't
right.
want you focused on that.
That is such a good point. And you would, you've been in the news business all your life, 35 years or something. I felt guilty putting that video on the screen, not because I was on anyone's side. I felt obviously bad about it. It was horrible. But because you don't want to put ugly things on TV and inflame passions. You want people to be reasonable and think things through and reach wise decisions. Why would news organizations, they really want to make people enraged, clearly.
They don't want us focused on reality. Hey, if they want us to devote an hour of coverage to this and weekend coverage of this, and they want to take us to a good place, I would examine the racial element of this.
Here we go. Now, here's where you got in trouble. Because, okay, let's pause for a moment. Now, the racial element was brought up not by Whitlock first, but by the mainstream media. Because remember, they were talking about, although everybody involved here is black police chief, all black officers and black victim, everybody involved is black, but somehow, some way, the white man is to blame. This is why I always joke about blame the white man, because this seems to be the excuse. It's like, how can you blame the white man when there's no white man to blame? Oh, they did find one white guy that they want to charge later. So they found some white guy to blame, right? Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. They did find one white guy to blame, although this guy, they want to blame him, but he still wasn't even involved with the beatdown. He was just there. I think it was a paramedic or something. So that's him right here. Okay. So this guy, Preston Hemphill, got relieved of duty, but I don't think he got charged. He just got fired. So they did find some white guy, but he wasn't involved with the beatdown. There was 5 black guys on one black guy and a black female police chief. So although there's no white people involved, still blame the white man. So Whitlock is saying, hey, if you want to go down that road of blaming the white man, then let's do it. Or if you want to go down the road of race, then let's do it. Let's talk about the actual component of race that might make a difference here rather than blaming the non-existent white man. Let's check it out.
Because there is a racial element. And this is a story about young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane
Sorry about that. I can't be showing the video. They're gonna try to flag it.
way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Well, there you have it. So for that, there was a lot of controversy. That was a lot of hate that went toward Jason Whitlock. How could you say this? You hate your own people. The singer Sierra came out and said something. There was quite a bit of kickback. There was quite a bit of kickback here. Let me see if I can find this article. So yeah, that's Sierra right there. She was really popular as a singer, like in the early 2000s. She's married to Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson. And you see her, what she says, Sierra slams Fox News commentator after he blames, quote unquote, chaos and disunity leading to Tyre Nichols beating on cities from our single mothers. Yeah, she had something to say. So there is Sierra and Russell Wilson. Yeah, so this kind of went viral, went all over the place. He didn't lie. But again, people are going to poke holes in the argument. They're going to say, well, how do you know that everybody involved came from a single parent household? I mean, that's kind of inconsequential to argue that point, but it can't be argued. I'll stick to the facts of the case. The facts of the case are very simple. The guy was resisting, and the officers beat him down and killed him when it was excessive force. That's that simple. If the guy didn't resist, then there's no excessive force. Simple. Very simple. And nobody can really deny that fact, because if you see the tape, then you're going to see what I see. Someone trying to say, oh, well, if you are confronted by the police, you're going to run too. It's like, man, come on. You can't just make excuses for these guys. That's part of the problem. These guys get all kind of excuses made for them. So then when you got a regular dude out there that got a pack of drugs in his pocket or a gun, they're going to run because they think they have an excuse. Oh, you know what? I fear for my life. I had to run. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. You get confronted by the police, hands up, comply, don't try to fight. You're not going to win a situation. 99 times out of 100, 999 times out of a million, you're not going to have a violent ending to being resisting arrest. You won't die normally. What'll happen is you get arrested, and then you get a charge, obstruction of justice, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, whatever the charge may be. Unnecessarily, you could have just got a traffic ticket and went about your way. But then you went into run, high-speed chase, hitting the car, injuring somebody, injuring yourself, totaling the car, crashing into a light pole, going through the windshield. For what? Why? When people don't get disciplined for this kind of stuff, it encourages other kind of non-obedient behavior. Now, I say the word obedient, people going to get triggered. Oh, you got to be obedient like a dog. It's like, look, man, you got police. They're doing their job. You got to do your job. Let everybody do their job. You do yours, and we have a more cohesive and unified society. But when you don't do that, you're going to have problems. Walter Scott was a prime example. That was a really good example of this whole situation, right? Because Walter Scott, it was the same situation. You got two wrongs that happened, but the first wrong created the ability for the other wrong to happen. It created the whole situation. It's like Walter Scott had been peacefully arrested. He's in the back of the squad car chilling. The officer's playing Sublime in the background. You don't know what it's like. In the back, he's chilling. The officer made a mistake by leaving him in the car, giving them too much leeway, I suppose. I don't know what he was doing outside the car, but anyway. So the guy is trying to escape. Oh, I got warrant, child support. I'm going to escape. Gets out of the car and tries to flee while handcuffed. See, that was a mistake. There were all kind of mistakes made right there. But if you're already arrested, just go to jail. Go ahead and get locked up. He tries to run away. The officer does a terrible thing and kills him by shooting him from the back, and then tries to cover it up right there on the spot. And there's a guy with a phone recording the whole situation. Now he's getting 25 with the L in prison. He earned it, but guess what? we can say that the officer faced justice. We could say Walter Scott got justice. But I think if you were to ask Walter Scott now, hey, man, would you rather be dead or have some white officer go to prison for killing you? Like, oh, pardon me. Would you rather be alive or be dead, but there's a white guy in jail for killing you? I think most guys are going to say, you know what? I'd rather be living right now. Yeah, I might go to jail, but at least I'm not dead. You can get justice for him, but it won't bring him back to life. He's still dead. And guess what though? And guess what happened? When you die, when you die, if you are, matter of fact, somebody says I'm wrong. What did I get wrong? How am I wrong about what? If anyone says I'm wrong, y'all please let me know how I'm wrong. Please let me know. But anyway, when you die after you get killed by police or you die in police custody, there will be, your family might be concerned about you. There might be some rallies in your name, some riots in your name. Your old neighborhood where you grew up might get destroyed because of you. Like Freddie Gray, where you grew up in your old neighborhood might get destroyed because you died. Okay, great. So you grew up in poverty, a blighted area, and then the area becomes engulfed in more poverty and more blight. Fantastic. But anyway, after you die, they're going to fundraise off you. The BLM type groups of the world, they're going to fundraise off you. Now, BLM and BLM type groups raised $10 billion after George Floyd died in 2020. Now, how much of that money went back to George Floyd's family? How much of that George Floyd get? Oh, he dead, so he don't get no money, does he? Oh, okay, cool. You see what I'm saying? But Black Lives Matter, on the other hand, they get a whole real estate portfolio. They going into the Bahamas. They going on vacation. They going to Ibiza, Tulum, and everywhere else. They going to Instagram locations off of your dead body. So ask yourself the question, is it worth it to try to run away? Oh, to BLM it is. They're looking forward to it. They're ready for it. It's like, okay, please, black man, run away, fight, and die. Because you know what? I want a brand new G-Wagon. I want a stripper mobile. I want the Atlanta BBL. That's what I want. And when you die, I can fundraise and make that money to make it happen. I don't want to give some 45-year-old lady a BBL off of my dead body. I'm sorry. I don't want to have that happen. Buy large mansions, big, long money, all that stuff. All that. Oh, Benjamin Crump getting big money. Benjamin Crump, Lee Merritt, all these ambulance chasers getting big money. You wonder why Ben Crump is always on the scene of a dead black man, or Lee Merritt, one of these ambulance chasers. You know what? Nobody always there. Because here's the play. It's a hustle, really. But I don't say I respect it, but I get it. It's a play. It's a hustle. So here's what happens. Random black guy dies, coming from poverty. The family have no money. So if they want to go sue the city or somebody, they can't afford to pay a lawyer up front. So here comes ambulance chaser Ben Crump. Hey, you know what? I'll do this for you for free. Miss Nichols, I'll do this for you for free. 100% free. I'll come in here. I'll save the day. But guess what? On that back end, no, I'm going to need 1/3 of the proceeds from the lawsuit settlement. I need 1/3 of the proceeds, 33%. So give me that on the back end. I'm free on the front. I'll cover the case for free. And I know I'm going to win. So if I got to pay my staff, paralegal some money, it's fine, because I'm going to get that back end, 1/3 of the proceeds. And if somebody get like a $25 million payout, like what happened in Louisville, Kentucky, 1/3 of 25 million is a lot of money. That's how they eat. That's how they eat. So yeah, if you want to empower these ambulance chasing lawyers, black lesbian Marxists, anybody like that, these nut jobs on television, the TV personalities, if you want to enrich them and make them get more money and more notoriety and more fame, then do it. Go out there, resist arrest, and die. That'll be how it goes. So I'm here to say, don't do that. Enrich yourself. Make yourself more money. Make yourself be a good person here on earth rather than being dead at 25 years old and making all these bad actors become more rich. I'm getting triggered, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And before I move on from Tyre Nichols, let's take a look at some of the funeral proceedings, shall we? You'll see some familiar faces here.
I see the world showing him love.
Look at this. See a man right there? The FBI snitch, Al Sharpton, always there. Anytime somebody black dies and he could benefit from it, he's always there.
Love and fighting for his justice. But all I want is my baby brother back.
An emotion.
These funerals are a mockery. I mean, we got flat screen TVs. I mean, this is just kind of crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Day as hundreds come together for the funeral of Tyre Nichols. Family, friends, political leaders, and activists not only share stories about Nichols, but made
for a mother in pain.
Is it a gospel concert or a funeral? You got a whole look at the choir. Look at the size of the choir. Where'd they come from? Who paid them to be there?
Songs of strength for a mother in pain. Speaking at her.
I'm done. I had enough of that. I was trying to watch that, but the more I sit and watch that, the more I get enraged. Hold on. I'm gonna try to skip ahead a little bit. Okay. I almost got so triggered. I forgot the best part. His head was huge though. I mean, I got a big head, but he got one of them heads that go out like he has a big head horizontal. I got a big head vertically. He has a big horizontal, but a short vertical. It's like a cube. But anyway, there we go. Look at okay, you got Ben Crump right there and Kamala Harris right there next to Ben Crump. What kind of ridiculous optics is this? You have an ambulance chase right next to the vice president, a literal ambulance chaser next to the vice president of the USA. This is just complete clown world.
Harris.
And we are here to celebrate the life of Tyre Nichols.
Harris commending the family.
Mrs. Wells, Mr. Wells, you have been extraordinary in terms of your strength, your courage, and your grace.
But also delivering a call to action, calling for the passage of the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act.
This violent act was not in pursuit of public safety.
The Reverend Al Sharpton, who delivered the eulogy, giving a rousing sermon, at times chastising the officers charged with Nichols' death.
There's nothing more insulting and offensive to those of us that fight to open doors, that you walk through those doors and act like the folks we had to fight for to get you through them doors.
As Nichols is remembered, a 29-year-old kind soul.
Okay, that's enough. That is enough. Enough. I promise, no more. I'm finished. I'm finished with that story for now. But it's like they got a template. Every time somebody black dies, and it could be some kind of police brutality, something like that, they put out the same people: Ben Crump, Lee Merritt, Kamala Harris, somebody black, Al Sharpton. They put him up there and said the same thing. Oh, he was a great man. He was good. Everybody loved him. Same old story. It don't matter what the guy did. I'm not saying this guy was some type of dope boy or whatever. I don't know nothing about that. I don't think he was. It don't even matter. It could be a career criminal, could have killed 45 people, or been a mailman. It said the same old thing every single time. It's like I'm kind of through with it. But you know, the part that I want to say before I move on is that this, like, I've been to so many funerals. I know so many guys that that's dead or been shot, and who cares? It's like it's never really a big deal until it's like you could blame a white man or the police. But regular everyday violence, people down at a very young age, black men in their 50s and 60s, who cares about that, right? It's just whatever. But if you could blame somebody, if you could blame some kind of authority figure or some white person, then it becomes a national story, and they want to trot out the usual black suspects. All right, I'm finished. Crowder, I think Crowder's done as well. AKM says move on to Crowder. I think I'm done with Crowder. Is there any more stories about Crowder? I think I've covered that. But it was rumored that he's gay. A rumor that he's gay. I don't know if he's gay or not, but it's a rumor that he's gay and he's battling his demons. But if that's true, which I don't know if it's true or not, then I'm not surprised. Okay, when you battling demons like that, if he is, which I don't know if he is or not, but if you're battling demons like that, of course you're going to act out and act in a weird way. It'll make sense. If anybody has some kind of internal battle they're dealing with, sometimes they can act it out in a very weird way. You may not know what's going on, and you're like, hey, why are you acting like that? What's going on? Then you figure out, oh, okay, you got something going on in your personal life. That's why you're behaving that way. So, yeah, I have no more smoke for him. I think I'm done with that story. I think you guys agree with that. I think you guys agree with that. I think people that love him are still going to love him. People that don't, and that's pretty much it. So I will digress that right now. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Oh, it's a joke. Thank you, NKM. I figured it was a joke. People said that him and his wife had twins. It don't matter. You can have, it's plenty of gay guys that got kids by women. Same thing with women. I've seen women that have a whole football team of kids and now they become lesbian. They got a whole football team. I'm talking about practice squad, offense, defense, special teams, punt return team, all of that good stuff. They got a whole football team of kids, but now all of a sudden they like women. Be 25 years old with 45 kids and lesbian. I've seen that. Bulldagger lesbian, not even pretty girl, lipstick. I'm talking about Bulldagger lesbian, Brittany Griner lesbian, looking like a male lesbian with kids. I've seen that happen. I've seen a pregnant woman looking like Brittany Griner. Okay, big, tall, hairy lesbian. I've seen that. I'm not surprised by anything anymore. There is no more surprises on planet Earth. And speaking about not being surprised anymore, the Ice Princess in Finland. Have you guys seen the Ice Princess in Finland? Let's go ahead and talk about that. Hold on. Did somebody get hit? What did they do? I don't know if that was a hideable offense. Whatever. I'm gonna just go keep on moving to the Ice Princess in Finland. So, a 59-year-old biological XY male decided at age 50 to become a skater in Finland. Now, I was reading some of the comments in the video, and people were saying that if you are Finnish, like if you're born in Finland, you're basically born with a pair of skates in your hand, meaning you're living in a cold place in the Arctic Circle. Ice skating is not necessarily an abnormal activity. It's kind of like if you coming up in New York City, somewhere, California, you're probably going to play basketball. If you're black, that's just what you do. You're going to go out there, have a basketball, dribble a little bit. You might try to shoot around, play basketball because that's just part of your environment. And if you live in the Arctic Circle or some kind of cold place like Finland, you're probably going to know how to ice skate a little bit. You might not be a figure skater or a hockey player, but knowing how to ice skate is not necessarily an abnormal thing. So why wait until age 50 to become a skater and then try to compete out there against these 22-year-old girls as a 59-year-old biological XY male talking about, yeah, I'm a woman now. I'm transgender now. And you want to be an ice princess and compete out there. This whole thing was crazy. Let's go ahead and just put the video up. Hold on 1 second. Matter of fact, first I have a picture for your viewing pleasure, right? Because you guys got to see what I'm talking about. So, hide your kids, hide your wife. So this is a person, a 59-year-old male a biological male, pardon me, who now identifies as transgender, a trans woman. That's how this person identifies. I don't want to say they, them, because first of all, I'm not going to assume this person's pronouns. Second of all, I see one person here. Maybe they got more than one personality in their head floating around. It might be more than one guy in their head talking to them every day, but I see one individual here, okay? So this person wants to become an ice princess. On the left-hand side, I don't really see ice princess. I see Heisenberg from Breaking Bad. I see Steve Carell from The Office. I see one of those Mad Magazine comic book characters with a head that shrunk it down a little bit. I see something else. I see Steve Buscemi. I don't really see Ice Princess, okay? And on the right, it's the same person with more makeup on. All I'm getting is Babushka, Mima, cooking up borscht in the back, okay? Serving her grandsons and whatnot. That's what I see right there on the right. But on the right, this person was trying to skate and was not very successful on the ice at a competition with all of Europe and the world watching. And if you can see in the background, there are actual female skaters in the background circling this person. They were on the ground like that for a minute. Colin Kaepernick status, taking the knee because they fell and they couldn't get up. Literally, they had fallen and couldn't get up. You're talking about a whole commercial, a whole Life Alert commercial was right there, right in front of our very eyes. It was nuts, pardon the pun. But let's go to the actual video here. And of course, it's in their language. I think it's the Finnish language. So read the subtitles if you can't understand what they're saying. And if you guys speak Finnish or whatever the language is, y'all let me know if the subs are correct. So let's go ahead and watch this clip right here. And now I'll pause it at certain points to say what's being said for those who are listening audio only.
Taitoluistelun EM-kisat on nyt ihan virallisesti avattu täällä Espoossa. Avajaisia on.
So this is a post, I guess you would say, competition interview. And they're talking about the European Figure Skating Championships. That's where this person was at doing all this jazz on the ice.
Espoossa avajaisia on vietetty ja vieressäni on yksi avajaisshown esiintyjistä Minna-Maria Antikainen.
So that person right there on the left-hand side is the they, them, right? The biological XY male at the ripe young age of 59 trying to become a figure skater and compete. Now, I don't know about y'all though. I don't know about y'all, but I am 38. Oh, you look, you got a great beard, haha. But look, I'm 38. I'm kind of a little bit athletic. You know, I could play a little bit of basketball, a little bit of football, basic, you know, black guy stuff. I know how to do that stuff, right? But at my age right now, if I get out on the basketball court and I jump, try to grab the rim, I'm scared I'm going to blow out my whole knee, okay? I ain't trying to be on crutches or in a wheelchair for a little while while my knee is starting to heal. At 38, 59, trying to ice skate, I mean, you asking for trouble. Your hip ain't going to be no more good. Your ACL, MCL, hamstring, quadriceps is all going to be done. All the pieces. You're going to be out there in a heap of skin and bones, in a heap of ruptured tendons on the ice.
Minkälainen kokemus se oli?
Kokemuksenahan se oli äärimmäisen jännittävä ja mieleen painuva ja myöskin osoitus siitä, että miten herkkä laji tämä luistelu loppupelissä sitten kuitenkin on. Elikkä tuli se paljon pelätty kaatuminen. Ja
So they're interviewing this person and they're talking and this person is saying, I thought I would fall and it did happen.
Mutta ei se sitä poista, etteikö olisi siellä jäällä ollut hauskaa.
Minkälainen on oma taustasi?
Luistelutausta on semmoinen, että 50-vuotiaana sain ajatuksen.
Check it out. This person, the interviewer is asking this person, what's your background? And this person responded, I started skating at 50. It was my childhood dream to skate as a woman, although I was born male. So if you started skating at age 50, how was it your childhood dream to skate as a woman? Your childhood did not start at age 50, but maybe you're trans age as well. I don't really know what's going on. But as you can see, there are women on the ice skating around. They look young, thin, fit, agile, athletic, the way you should be out there in the skating championship. That's where you should be out there on the ice, okay? This ain't just free rink where you can have little kids and meatballs out there skating. This is a championship. So you wouldn't have the best of the best out there on the ice. It's simple.
Luistelutausta on semmoinen, että 50-vuotiaana sain ajatuksen lähteä toteuttamaan lapsuuden haaveita ja alkaa luistella naismoodissa, vaikka syntyperäisin olenkin.
Now look, wait. Just look at this person enter the whole thing. First of all, they're being surrounded by the actual female skaters who are good at what they do. They're young, thin, athletic. skilled on the ice. Well, you should be if you're going to be out here at the competition. And look at this, they, them, enter the scene. It was shaky at best from the jump. Shaky at best from the very beginning. Check it out. Watch this.
Luistella naismoodissa, vaikka syntyperäisin olenkin mies.
Sir!
Ja sieltä on niin kuin 9 vuotta aikaa, eli siihen 9 vuoteen sisältä.
That's like me going out there skating. I do not know how to skate at all. I was a kid that would be holding up against the guardrail in the skating rink with regular roller skates on, with the 4 blade, with the 4 roller blades. Forget about it. I had the 4 the ATV looking skates. I had those on, and I'm holding the side of the thing, just trying to scoot along. I would be looking like that out there on the ice. Now, if I go out there and play basketball, I look a little bit better, but trying to ice skate, no. This person is barely able to move. A whole ship out there being blown in the wind.
Aika paljon, eli kun lähdetään ihan nollasta, niin ihan jo sitä, että pysyy pystyssä 2 jalalla, pysyy pystyssä 1 jalalla ja sen jälkeen rupeaa niinku uskaltamaan tehdä jotakin siellä jäällä ja sitten alkaa pikkuhiljaa kisaamaan.
And down goes Frazier. Look at this. Down goes Frazier. Now look.
Esiintymään näytöksissä ja niin edelleen, että sanotaan.
I know that knee. I know both knees are hurting badly because first of all, you're trying to balance your ice skate on the one knee that's up. I know it's hurting. And then your other knee is touching the ice. Ouch. Ouch. That hurts. No knee pads or nothing like that. Them pantyhose ain't gonna help you, sir. I mean, ma'am, or whatever your pronouns are.
Aika kivaa ura on ollut, mutta tietysti korona tuli vähän sitten väliin, että se sitten.
Could not get up. Had to have another Finnish teammate come over to help.
Sotki kuviota. Mutta
look at this.
Eteenpäin mennään ja homma jatkuu.
Mahtavaa. Näiden EM.
You see the contrast? Look. Do you see the contrast right here? Okay, you got Danny DeVito with Scarlett Johansson. This is crazy. The girl right there on the right-hand side is who should be out there representing Finland. That's perfect. Nice, pretty young girl, athletic, knows how to skate. That's all you need. Why we got to have this right here? Come on, man. Like, okay, it's part of your fantasy. It's part of your, you want to be an ice princess, but I'm not getting ice princess from you right now. Okay, I'm not getting ice princess. I'm getting ice delivery truck driver. I'm getting reefer truck driver. You understand what I'm saying? Not ice princess. Get behind the wheel of your truck that's refrigerated with sodas and perishable items and go continue your route to Publix, Walmart, Target, wherever you got to go. Wegmans, wherever you're going, go there. Wawa, gas station, Quick Trip, Buc-ee's, not right here on the ice. All right?
Näiden EM-kisojen slogan on tule sellaisena kuin olet, niin mitä se slogan sinulle merkitsee?
Wait. Hold on. I almost missed this part. I missed this part in the last one because I can't speak the Finnish language.
Mutta eteenpäin mennään ja homma jatkuu.
Mahtavaa. Näiden EM-kisojen.
So the interviewer literally said, stunning and brave. I lie to you not. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm still right here on my seat. The interviewer said, stunning and brave. The slogan here is, come as you are. What does it mean to you? I mean, this is crazy, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I think the whole purpose of the person being out there on the ice was for inclusion, diversity, but that wasn't very good. And they're treating this person like they have some kind of disability, like they have Downs or something like that, and that's not right. That's not right at all. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's not okay. All right. If you're not skilled out there, the person is not disabled. It's just 59 years old. Even if it was a woman out there at that age, they would struggle. But a biological male, kind of out of shape, looking like, the recent Penguin from Batman. Remember the guy that said, "What are you showing me? Come on." Looking like that guy out there on the ice, that ain't gonna get it done, man. I need you to look like peak Scarlett Johansson. Who else? What's old girl's name that was in Hancock? I think Giselle Bundchen, them big 5'10" white women look like that. Okay, Pamela Anderson in the heyday at best, and don't even be that big. Okay, that's what I want to see out there on the ice, not that person, truck driver. Okay, I digress. I'm doing too much. Not the person is actually a farmer. The person that was on the ice is actually a farmer and is very successful at being a farmer of the year in their particular region. They're not disabled. They're not mentally challenged. They just have some kind of weird fetish they want to do. That's all. So they're not disabled. If they were disabled, that's a different story. But just want to be an ice princess at 59 years old, unsuccessfully. But I move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Hey, if I put on ice skates, I'm going to do just the same thing as they did. I'll be on the ice. Please help me up. Please, Scarlett Johansson, come get me right now off the ice. I'd appreciate it if you did. Please help. Matter of fact, bring your twin sister. Okay, little kids watching. But anyway, what else we got going on? We got quite a few topics on deck. Oh, speaking about this kind of stuff, this story I covered because it happened in my hometown area of Portsmouth, Virginia. So this story was nuts. A high school basketball coach impersonated one of their students during a game. Meaning, okay, here's the backstory. A 13-year-old student at a high school decided, well, I don't know if they decided, whatever it was, they were out of town playing another game somewhere else. And as a result of this person, this 13-year-old was not able to play in a game. So the 22-year-old assistant coach of the JV girls team, like below the varsity team, obviously junior varsity, one of the 22-year-old assistant coaches decided to step in for the girl and play as her, impersonated the 13-year-old girl. And they got a highlight tape of the girl out there, or of the coach out there playing as a girl. This story was nuts. She did not dominate. She actually was looking like LeBron out there, trying to be LeBron, but they still lost the game, which is funny. How are you going to be 22 years old playing against 13-year-olds and still lose? I mean, now, as I said from the beginning of that particular video I did, luckily, it wasn't a different gender. Okay, luckily, you got girls basketball, and it was a female assistant coach that stepped in for the 13-year-old girl to impersonate her in the game. Luckily, it was also kind of European basketball player. Like, okay, you got some guys 6'5", 35 years old, then played ball in Europe. I'm glad it wasn't one of these guys that came in there and played as a 13-year-old girl. But I don't see that as being too far off of where we are right now today. If you can have Leah Thomas happen, if you can have Minna Maria Antikainen in Finland, the ice princess, 59 years old, if you can have that happen, if you can have all these things happen, if you can have Fallon Fox happen in not UFC or MMA, beating a woman up as an adult male, if you can have those things happen, then why not have a person who is different gender and different age compete against younger people of different genders? Why not? But this case, it was the same gender.
The strangest stories I've ever heard of and talked about. Last Friday, we received an email from the mother of a player on the Churchland High School girls JV basketball team that
if y'all don't know, I did go here to this school for 1 month. I used to live right there in that area in Churchland, out Portsmouth, before I moved to Chesapeake, right next door. And I was telling the story that I didn't get to tell in the video about how I moved from out of here. Basically, what happened was my mom bought a house in Chesapeake, and she bought it before my 9th grade year started. But the closing was delayed by a month, so I went to church for a month. To that school right there, I went there. You see the little TC logo? I remember that. The truckers logo, the orange and black. I remember all of that. So I went there for a month before we moved. And like on the last days of us living in Churchland in Portsmouth, our neighborhood got kind of taken over by some crackheads because they tore down a housing project called Ida Barber. And when they tore that down, they gave them vouchers to live in different parts of the city and the surrounding area, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Portsmouth. So they came to our neighborhood out Churchland. Where I live was like a decent neighborhood. Somebody might get shot occasionally, but basically it was pretty quiet. Fights here and there, shootings here and there, but not too much. Not really a violent place. But when the Ida Bar people came out there, it became an Adam house overnight. It was crazy. And one day, some dope fiends took not my mom's car. They took a car for a joyride, stole it or whatever, and they crashed it into my mom's car in the middle of the night. So the police come to the door like 4 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the door. I'm thinking I'm dreaming. Hear my mom get up. We go to the door because I don't want her to get hit by no crackhead. And at this age, at 14 years old, I'm my same size right now. I'm 6'3", 220 pounds right now today. I was that same size at age 14. But anyway, I go to the door. It's the police. They open the door. And then my mom's car is right there totaled. So that happened before we left this particular area. So you have some issues in that part of the city where we were. This area in general is pretty nice in Portsmouth, although it's still Portsmouth and it's a corrupt city, a lot of problems, a broke city, probably the worst city poverty-wise in the region. But Churchland is like a little bastion of okayness if you live in the houses in that kind of area. The school, I never heard about this kind of thing happening, but I'm not surprised.
Assistant coach on the team named Arlisha Boykins impersonated a 13-year-old player on the team that was out of town for a club basketball tournament. Here's video from that game. Churchland is in the black uniforms. Number one right there that just came up with the black block shot. We're told that as Arlisha Boykins. They were taking on Nansman River. This video has been edited to show you some of the highlights.
But do y'all see this though? Do you see the girl doing all this jazz right here, like NBA type celebrations? It's like, ma'am, you are 22 years old playing against 13 to 14-year-olds. You're 22 years old, 13 to 14-year-olds. Like, what are you doing?
She's apparently a 22-year-old young woman going up against 14 and 15-year-old girls. Now, we have confirmed that Boykins is no longer an employee of Portsmouth Public Schools. And since this game, the student athletes on the team and parents decided to just end the season. They will not be playing any more games this year. Portsmouth Public Schools did launch an...
And it's like, okay, as I say in the video, there's adults here. She was an assistant coach on the team, meaning there are other adults that know who she is. You have a head coach. You have guys that run the equipment. You got guys that, you got a principal. You got teachers. You got people that know who this girl is. She probably went to this school. That name, I know her name before. I've seen the name before. Boykins, I've seen that name out Portsmouth. I probably know her mom or her sister or somebody. But anyway, the ref is right here next to her. Ref, you don't see a grown adult woman right in front of you? You don't see that? That's like if I'm out there right now, beer and everything, big and everything, playing against 14-year-olds. You ain't gonna see me out there? It's like, sir, what are you doing in a high school boys uniform? You're not gonna ask me that question? I mean, come on, man. Like, be for real. This was nuts.
Investigation into this matter. The details have not been revealed by officials quite yet. Now, I spoke with the father of the 13-year-old girl that was being impersonated. Here's what he had to say about his reaction when he heard the news.
Coaches, always preach to the kids, about integrity and those type of things. So I was just shocked. I just need,
And again, they still lost the game, and it's JV. There's nobody in the stands. You could have easily just canceled the game. If you can't get enough the girls to suit up for the game, if the one girl being out of town was enough to have you be shorthanded, you don't got 5 girls or whatever you need for the game, just cancel the game. There's nobody there. It's JV. Who cares? Because now, since you got discovered, ma'am, they done canceled the whole season for the varsity and junior varsity. So what was the purpose of doing this? You didn't got fired. They canceled the season. just cancel this one game because there's nobody there. It's JV girls basketball in high school in a small city with nobody really caring. The kids and the parents care, but that's it.
An apology, because I haven't yet received one from, the overseer of the program or nothing.
That move right there with the little, that was crazy. Ma'am, you didn't score on 13-year-old girls as a fully grown adult. That's not doing a lot. It's like me going out there with my little cousins, dunking on them. It's like, okay, I'm 6'3", these little boys 4'11". Okay, that's not very fair.
He just came out and just told us the stipulations of what was going to happen, but there was no apology issued personally to us, even in his presence.
We're going to follow up with this story if more information comes out.
Man, oh man, that whole thing was crazy. That was crazy. But yeah, I mean, like I said, at least it was a real woman this time, a biological XX woman rather than a man. That would have made it worse. That would have been so much worse, especially if nobody said anything. If you see a male on the court and you say nothing, I mean, come on. Balling on kids and still lost. It's like, look, check it out. If I'm going to be an adult out there impersonating a 13-year-old kid, I'm going to dominate. I'm going to be LeBron, Jordan, Kevin Durant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I'm going to be all of that. I'm going to be out there killing. I'm going to be out there dunking, shooting threes. I'll be out there doing alley-oops, everything. You're not going to win against. I'm going to score all the points. All the points. I ain't going to lose the game, a JV game at that. I mean, that was so dumb. That was so dumb. But again, in this environment where you could be whatever you want to be, where you could be a fully grown adult playing against kids, it's like, why not do that? Why not? Was there a player on the bench? It's like you could have just played with the players you had. It's JV. Who cares? You're not competing for a champion. Like, what are we even doing? People are crazy. And the part that really gets me is that no adult said anything. You got the ref right there. You don't see Arlisha, who graduated probably like 5 years ago. You don't recognize her? You don't know that's her? Come on, man. That was crazy. But anyway, I digress. So I talked about Tyre Nichols, the whole funeral. How about TJ Holmes and Amy Robach? I could get into that. I kind of touched on it last time, so it ain't too much to add. I kind of want to show some videos I have. But about TJ and Amy, I want to see where they go. I want to see where TJ Holmes and Amy Robach go. They might want to just stop being journalists and become podcasters or something. They might as well just do something like that because it's no point in them going back to regular TV anymore. Just get a podcast, do a couple's podcast, a couple's TikTok, something like that. You might as well do that because I think I think that journalism is done for you if you're TJ Holmes and Amy Robach, for sure. Oh, and speaking of couples, Tom Brady retired officially. Now, let me see if I can find that clip right quick. Because I'm gonna talk about this right quick. I got to talk about this because this kind of I'm seeing the narratives being spun around this, and I don't really believe in them. I don't believe in them. Let's talk about it right quick, just for a moment. I ain't gonna take too much of your time. Okay, so you put this on Twitter. Tom Brady has finally retired. How old is he anyway? Like 43? How old is Tom Brady? 45. 45 years old. He'll be 46 in August coming up. So he's up there in age. He finally retired from the NFL. After what, like 22, 23 years?
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. Like, you only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much to every single one of you for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
I'll tell you what, though. Say whatever you want to say about Tom Brady. Say whatever you want to say about Tom, but he is the best quarterback of all time. The best quarterback of all time. Period. I don't want to hear no Dan Marino. I don't want to hear no Tom Brady. The GOAT. The GOAT. Point blank, period. Now, let's talk about this. People saying that he's trying to get Giselle back. No. No, I think not. And some are going to say, well, you should have just retired last time because that's why you lost Giselle. I think not. I don't think so. Like, it doesn't really matter if she wanted him to retire because I don't think just by him acquiescing to her demand at that point would have made a difference. It still would have been if somebody working a job that they're off most of the time. Like, okay, you go to work on Sundays, right? You go to work sometimes throughout the week for practice or whatever the case may be. But you don't work a 9 to 5 every day like most people do. You're home more than most people are. You're off. The off season, you're off. You got vacation. You can do whatever you want. Most guys can't do that. Most guys are not going to be off during the week, having time to be able to be with you, whatever it is. Most guys can have you come to their job and just hang around, play around, or whatever. That whole thing about him being in the NFL, and that's why he got divorced, that's complete BS. That still would have happened regardless of what. So I don't want to, like, the whole thing about him retiring too late to get Giselle, that's bogus. I don't believe in that at all. I think he just wanted to retire now on his own terms rather than being forced to do it by some outside force. Period. And if he did acquiesce to her demand, it still would have been the same end result. Because if that was enough to make her leave and take the kids by him working, it was other things there that was already going to break it apart. So yeah, I'm not really. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Inflategate, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But there's been all kind of scandals throughout the years. There's been all kind of things happen throughout the years. There's been all kind of stuff going on. Okay, but Tom still the GOAT. Yep. That is what it is. Yeah, now he's going to do broadcasting now with Fox. He got a big contract already. Yeah, real big contract already. He's going to be out there with Fox. They're talking about putting him in Super Bowl. They're talking about making them, having them do some opening stuff for Super Bowl coverage. He probably won't be out there covering the game, obviously, because that's going to take a lot of practice behind the mic to really get comfortable, to be out there and cover the game for Super Bowl. And you don't want to have any kind of mistakes on the game, on a dame, gay and dame like that. What up, gay and dame? Day and game like that. Because that's pretty important. You got all these ads, billions of dollars in advertising money. It's like Christmas for sports. You don't want to ruin that day by having an inexperienced person, although they are Tom Brady, out there. Have him be out there for a moment or two to show his face, but don't have him be the day-to-day, the play-by-play guy. Let's not have that happen. All right. But yeah, shout out to Tom Brady. Well, long career, 20-something years in the NFL. He was a late draft pick. They thought it would just be a prospect project at best. And then he's on the Patriots. Drew Brees almost dies on the football field from a crazy hit. And here comes Tom Brady ascending to the top and being a dominant force ever since. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. I'd appreciate it if you did. We got super chats on deck. I'm going to read right quick, and then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Super chat right here from Boomhauer says, Happy Black History Month. You're going to be a busy man because 2024 is around the corner and the news speak is already in full effect. Shout out NBC. Oh, yeah. 2024 is here. It's here. It's not here officially by the calendar, but as far as the motion for presidential nominate, like we're already in it right now. After the midterms, it was on instantly. Trump tried to actually preempt the midterm being over. It's like, sir, wait a minute. Wait till the midterms over with, then announce. He was trying to announce before the midterms, but now we got the midterms out the way. Now we're in 2024 mode. So you're going to see a lot more people announce. You're going to see a lot more things being done. Like California, they're talking about reparations and stuff like that. Why? Is it because they love black people? Is it because they want to do the right thing, quote unquote, by black people? No. It's because they want to run Gavin Newsom as a president. Therefore, if he does things like this right now, very close to the election time, then he could say, hey, you know what? I did this. I did that. Did I say Drew Brees or Drew Bledsoe, not Drew Brees. Now, I think Brees at this point wasn't even in the league. Drew Bledsoe, that's right. Drew Bledsoe was a quarterback in New England. Then he almost died on the field from a hit, and then here comes Tom Brady to take his place, and then he ascends to the top. Yeah, not Drew Brees. But hey, Drew Brees, Drew Bledsoe, Drew Carey is all the same. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Thank you to Greatness81 who says DeSantis is going to get the same amount of hate as Trump does if he announces to run. DeSantis isn't as safe a pick as you think. Trump 2024, I don't think so. They've tried to hate on DeSantis already. They've tried that, but they can't really. There's not much you can really say about DeSantis because people are flocking to Florida. First of all, it's like, okay, if you're a journalist or a person like a normie on social media talking about how bad Florida is, Florida sucks, DeSantis sucks, why'd you move there? Okay, you were living in New York City. Then you came to Florida. Why? You have a vacation home in Florida. Why? They don't want to sell their vacation home in Panama Beach or wherever it is, Miami. They're not going to do that. So they can't really criticize DeSantis. There's no dirt on him. There's no sex scandal or nothing like that. So they don't really have anything on DeSantis, but they do on Trump. They spent all their ammunition on trying to make Trump look bad. They don't really have much left for a clean guy like DeSantis. So it is what it is. Yeah, Drew Barrymore. Look, Drew Barrymore, Drew Brees, Drew Bledsoe, Drew Carey, Drew Gooden. I don't really care. One of the Drews. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Drew on the blue. How about that? Anyway, Lancelot says, when will the madness end? It's a great question, sir. Glad you asked, but I have no way of knowing. Thank you to Michael Crislow who says, RIP, MacArthur Mall, and Military Circle. RIP all the malls. And Greenbrier's next. You know it. These old school malls are done. If you're living in an area that's like kind of middle class, lower middle class, or something like that, these malls not going to survive. The old school indoor malls, you got to have, like, if you've ever been to Avalon in Atlanta or like Alpharetta, a mall like that will work. Or even in Miami. I went to a mall in Miami. It's like an indoor outdoor mall. You got to have malls that are just kind of fit into a happening area with shops and restaurants. It can't just be a box with stores in it. That's like 1980s. That design is dead and it's not coming back anymore because of online shopping. What's the point of going to this box where I can just get myself on Amazon? Okay, I'm not going to Sears, JCPenney's anymore. That's not a big draw. Give me a Lululemon. Give me a Zara. Give me a more high-end type spot. Give me some restaurants and shops and have it be an experience. Have it be a date night. I don't want to take a girl to the mall, an old school mall with, like, I was in Virginia recently in Greenbrier Mall. They had like old carpet and JC. I'm like, man, this is like from the 90s, man. This is old, man. I want to be able to have an indoor, outdoor type spot. Yeah. Now, you have some malls that are still doing very well, indoor malls, but Mall of America, something like that, is going to be doing pretty well because it's marketed as like, you got other things. You got rides in there. It's a whole big thing. It's like a theme park, essentially. And other malls that exist in like very wealthy areas, those are going to do very well too. But the middle class kids cutting school, eating pizza, and some kind of mid-level mall, that's dead. It's over with. No, yeah, that's done. And so yeah, R.I.P. MacArthur Mall, Military Circle, Greenbrier Mall is next. Shoot, even when I was a kid, we had Tower Mall in Portsmouth. If you're my age, remember Tower Mall. Tower Mall was the absolute wave. I love Tower Mall. I used to be in there. There was a daycare in Tower Mall. I was in there at a daycare and hanging out. You could leave the daycare area and go to the arcade and play free games on certain days. I loved that back in the day, but that mall closed down. When Chesapeake Square opened, Chesapeake Square, that's done too. Chesapeake Square Mall's done, Tower Mall done, Military Circle, Greenbrier, MacArthur. They may as well just put more into Town Center, Virginia Beach, make that be more rather than the malls, because that's done. Yeah, and people they getting shootouts in the malls. Yeah, people getting into fights and shootouts. Anybody got time for that? In Atlanta, oh my goodness, Lenox. Man, look, you go to Lenox Mall. Usually it's straight in Lenox Mall, but it could go a different kind of way. You parking your car there, good luck, not having to get broken into. If you just in Lenox Mall, hey man, bring a bulletproof vest. You could be in the Gucci store and a shooting rings out. So be careful. Thank you to Michael. I already read that one. Thank you to Chewy Pretzel for becoming a member. Thank you to Alien Spaceship Sound Effects and Vlog, who says, BLM and the liberals make money their God. That's right. Thank you, Rubber Without a Reason, who says, post-millennial Memphis PD chief was fired from ATL Police Department for recovering up minor X-crime. Oh boy. I think I did see that. I think I did. It was somebody did something to a child and she covered it up allegedly. Very interesting. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, Princess of Thailand and Coma King is raging. Thank you to Matt Tastic, who says ABL and Mark Dice 2024. Shout out to my man Mark Dice. Okay, the OG Mark Dice. Shout out to him. Love his channel. Great content as always. Thank you to Blast Radius, who says, stop running from the cops. Chris Rock. Exactly. That's a quote. Thank you to Alien Spaceship, who says, the ice skater is why aliens keep coming here. There you go. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Why is this XY man looking like a whole truck driver on the ice, trying to be graceful as a swan, but really is like a hog out there snorting around? But anyway, thank you to Matthew Richardson, who says Ice Princess dude was subbed in for a 12-year-old. It's okay. There you go. Thank you to Matthew again, who says Brady best quarterback. Larry Bird GOAT in the NBA. MIT scientists prove Inflategate a myth. Well, there we go. And thank you to Violet for becoming a member and also for the donation. Says, how's it going? Everything's going very well. Glad you're here watching with us. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoy what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We got calls on deck, of course. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype if you want to be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen with video and audio. Again, email will be right there in the description box. But if you want to call in, the number is 434-658-1220. All righty, Matt, what's going on?
Anthony,
Everything's good, man. What's happening?
Hey, I think the rule for subbing yourself into a game is half your age plus 7.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's just like dating.
Right.
That's why Tom Brady's got to retire. And you know what I mean? All these 30-something-year-olds are too young for him now.
Well, there you
He's
go.
got to play against older guys. And then I was going to talk something about spin and Game of Thrones and that kind of stuff. I wanted to make a quick point about how these days I don't think the media spins things for people, and I don't think people are in echo chambers anymore at this point. I realize that maybe that whole like concept, like how the algorithm will kind of feed to what you think. And I remember watching Game of Thrones with all liberals. I would go over their house, they would come over my house, and we'd watch Game of Thrones, and they were absolutely in love with Dany Targaryen. You had a girl that was beautiful. She had dragons. She had her birthright to do what she was doing, become queen and all that kind of stuff. And the whole story arc was there for you, where you knew she was going to be a tyrant. They didn't hide it at all. They sprinkled all those breadcrumbs everywhere. But the liberals absolutely loved her. And meanwhile, you had like Brianna Tarth, she was lukewarm to them. You had Sansa Stark, she was lukewarm to them. So it's not, we're all getting the same exact information. I don't think there's spin anymore. I absolutely, they think season 8 sucked because she ended up being basically Hitler. So when it comes to like whether or not you believe in election fraud, when it comes to whether you're going to support Donald Trump or vote for Biden, I don't think people have different information or coming from different vantage points, because you can be in the same room watching the same damn thing happen. And a great example of that is George Floyd. I saw a dude that was resisting arrest, that was hyperventilating all on his own, that said he couldn't breathe before he was even put in a police car, said he couldn't breathe while he was in the police car. And then the autopsy even comes out and says, if he died alone in his home, it would have been attributed to drugs. And then in the trial, they said he both had 0% oxygen in his blood and 100% oxygen in his blood. We're all given the same exact information, and I don't think spin has taken us to these different places. So 2024 is Trump or die. And if you think DeSantis can win, I would point to Kerry Lake, because Kerry Lake was a terrific candidate. They had no dirt on Kerry Lake. You look at the evidence that she just presented, where they had a heat map up on the precinct wall, and that heat map matched where the printers and the tabulators didn't work. The printers printed out the ballots too big. To me, that's a smoking gun, and still we can't win an election. And there's a lot of parallels between Kerry Lake and Ron DeSantis. Tell us about Old Country Buffet sometime. I think I want to hear some stories, but that's all I got for you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, bye.
And I do have stories about Old Country Buffet. I've already said about the Twin Tower transgenders that came in there. The TTTs, Twin Tower transgenders. These guys were legit 7 foot tall. I'm not making it up. This is many years ago, before it became trendy to be transgender. These dudes, I don't know what their deal was. Like, I still to this day don't understand. If you ever seen Shaq, I swear, if anybody that worked there, I might give them to call in. These guys were as big as Shaq. It was 2 of them. A light skinned one, they're both black. One was light skinned, one was dark skinned. These guys, I'm 6'3". I'm looking like this to these guys. They were humongous. I don't even know how they really got in the car. It was nuts. But they had the whole thing. They were regulars too. They would always come in there a lot and be dressing flamboyantly. They had all kind of surgery, like BBLs and all breast implants. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Basketball players, but transgender. But men that became quote unquote women. It was crazy. I saw all kind of stuff in there. I saw a bulimic couple. They looked like they were a perfect Facebook couple back in the day, but really they'd be in there the whole day. I got all kind of stories about Old Country Buffet, but I digress for now. Let's get back to the calls. Okay. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. Hey, it's Craig from Wilder, Wacky, Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I haven't gotten shot, stabbed, or carjacked today, so it's been a pretty good day.
That's right.
Sweet. Now here's a little sound of Atlanta. Pretty bad,
That's about right. It sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah, exactly. Crime's gotten really bad under Biden. But anyway, yeah, man, a lot going on this last week or two. The whole Tyre Nichols thing, that was a tragedy. I saw your video like 3 or 4 days ago, and how you said that, had the guy not run, he probably would still be alive, and I agree.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of running? Where are you going to run to, you said? I'm like, it's a good point. It's like, you're not getting out of this.
I mean, you've already been arrested. You're pretty much in their custody at that point. Like, just go ahead and follow through. If the officer did something wrong, really, if it's me and I'm being mistreated by the officer, I'm thinking about suing and getting money. If I'm being mistreated.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, rather than trying to run away and potentially like losing my life or getting arrested, getting a charge, I'm going to just, hey, whatever you want, officer, is all good. Now I'm gonna sue, get paid. If there was any kind of wrongdoing that happened.
Sure, exactly. Keep your life and get $800,000 to $1 million out of these people.
Exactly.
You know, but I left a comment on your video that you made 2-3 days ago, say that, you know, with the way things are going especially the past 10, 15 years, you know, no matter what happens, it's always Whitey's fault. And you know this is true. You know, despite the fact there's 5 black police officers, the police chief was black. Okay, there was one white guy involved. They mentioned a couple days ago that said, you know, hope they beat him when they catch him. That was wrong. He shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I mean, it's always Whitey's fault, no matter what happens. There's a true incident. I knew an ex-con back in the 90s. He told me a story back around 1996 that back in the 70s, he was on a high-speed chase for the cops. This guy had spent a lot of years in and out of prison back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, early 70s, and he was born back in the early mid-30s. And he said he was on a high-speed chase going about 100 miles per hour up Peachtree Road, and somewhere around Peachtree and Piedmont, they stopped him. And the cops wanted to beat the shit out of him. Sorry for cursing. The cops wanted to beat the hell out of him. They're white cops, and it was one black cop that stopped the white cops from beating him.
Wow.
You know, so you don't hear stories about stuff like that today, but yeah, it's true. And they wanted to beat him because they were on a high-speed chase, and, you know, they're risking their lives, so they're already pissed. And now they have to risk their lives, not only their lives, but risk the lives of pedestrians on the sidewalks, wherever, you know, where they could crash into them and kill them. So, you know, I'm not saying these guys are justified, but, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I think these guys were pretty corrupt to begin with, to be honest, you know. They should have vetted these police officers better.
You know what?
These guys sounded like thugs that beat them up. Really were.
The thing about it is, I think that Memphis is having a hard time being able to recruit officers, and they probably lowered their standards. And I think that probably what led up to the officers not being the best, because you can't get the best guys to work because you got the whole defund the police thing going on. These young guys out here in Memphis especially don't care about the police. So it's like, what's the point? I might as well go be a school teacher or start a YouTube channel rather than trying to be a police officer. So you get the guys that probably really shouldn't be in the force, and then do stuff like this.
Yeah, I do recall you saying that in your video, and that's very true. They did lower their standards, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they got these terrible guys on the force. But, yeah, that was a tragedy. I saw the video, and that was horrible. One of the guys kicked him in the head, not just once, but twice. It's like, what's the point? The guy's already handcuffed, and then you want to beat a defenseless man. You know? That was uncalled for. But what else is uncalled for is blaming white people for it, you know. But it's, you know, the radical left are blaming institutionalized racism on this, you know. So there's always has to be a catch to blame white people for something that happens, you know. Wrong to black people or people of any other non-white race. But anyway, there you have it. But hey, when you were talking about Kamala Harris earlier, I wanted to let you know, and let all your viewers know, that Kamala Kamala, as she pronounces it, means terrible and horrible in Finnish.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I learned that about 2 years ago from Mr. Reagan. He's also a good YouTuber. You should check him out.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, he mentioned that. And I looked it up, and it's true. Kamala, how you pronounce it in Finnish, means terrible and horrible.
Wow, that's a very interesting. Hey, it fits perfectly.
Yeah. Hey, one last thing about Snow Queen, the the guy from Finland that's 59 years old that wants to become a skating queen. You know, you misgendered him, and I feel very offended. But anyway, you should put on a dress and give it a go, man. See how it goes.
I think not.
Hey, we won't judge you. You know, we'll love you just the same. Anyway, that's all I want to say. Have a great night. Stay safe. And you take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All
Thanks.
right,
Bye.
All right, great call. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. The number to call, you guys know what it is, 434, right there, 434-658-1220. Let's get to a few more calls here. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's Davey Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Cool. All right, well, I just basically wanted to comment a little about, keep it short and simple, which I always try to, about the Ice Princess. Okay, they went too far this time, the trans people, okay, because I love female figure skating. It's my favorite Winter Olympic sport. I think those women are so talented, so beautiful, so graceful. And to have this 59-year-old thing go out there and try to compete with them, it's like that was just such it was disgraceful to the entire sport. So it's been in my head since I saw that video, and I'm still trying to get the image out of my head of they, them, she, him, her, whatever. So I'm just going to give a recommendation to everybody out there who was traumatized like me and can't get the image out of their head. It's on YouTube. I mean, I can't post a link, obviously, but look up the American-born skater Mirai Nagasu. That's Mirai, last name Nagasu. She's of Japanese descent. Her parents are Japanese, but she was born in California and has always represented Team America. And watch her performance at the U.S. Nationals in 2018. And that is real what figure skating should be all about. It is a beautiful performance. And yeah, I had to watch that several times to get the image out of my head of that other thing. Yeah. So that's all I got to say, man. Yeah. Check that out after the show if you want. It's a beautiful, beautiful performance.
Will do, man.
And it'll, all right, man. All right, well, I love you, man. I love everybody in the chat and all the callers, and I'll just sit back and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's go to 615 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
What's up, man? It's Boom out. How you doing, man?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Man, I want to call in and talk about this whole Scorpion unit thing in Memphis with the police officers and everything. Okay, so I've seen several people keep on talking about, they keep commenting on the Scorpion unit need to be disbanded, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 and all this. So everybody knows we live in Nashville. So I'm in Nashville. I've been to Memphis so many times. Unless you've been there, you don't really know how ghetto it is and how, like, if you go to the wrong neighborhood, how, like, funky it really can be, like, seriously. A lot of normies don't understand that, but I got street smart, so I know when I'm driving, I understand where I just messed up and I better turn around and get up out that hood real fast. You know what I'm saying? So, but other people don't get that. So this whole Scorpion unit was put together to try to disband the crackheads and all the drug dealers and trying to, like, clean up everything that was crazy. Okay, so that's one thing, right? If you watch that video, there's like a lot of, I keep hearing some chatter about maybe the dude who got killed, Tyre, might have been sleeping with one of them cops' wife or girlfriend, ex-wife, something like that, right? If you watch that video, and I'm just telling y'all, everybody needs to watch the video. The left is going, oh my God, don't watch this video. Don't watch this video. It's worse than Rodney King. No, it ain't. It ain't worse than Rodney King. No, it is not. They use a whole lot of pepper spray. That's all I know, dude, is drinking pepper spray through half the videos. So, no, it is not worse than Rodney King. Everybody needs to watch the video to calm down and understand what really happened. But toward the end of that video, when they swap it and they start showing that overhead view and everybody's holding dude up, there's one dude that comes out of that dude comes up. You can tell he's coming up out of nowhere, and they're holding dude up. And it's as if he looked at them. You can't hear none, but it's as if he looked at them and said, hold that up, hold him up. Bob, Bob, Bob. And he starts popping on that dude so hard that you can tell he's got anger, dude. So then if you think about it, this is what I did when I saw the whole video. If you rewind it and watch it again, the dude gets pulled over for reckless driving, so they say, right? I'm going to try to say it as fast as I can because I know you got other callers. So dude's getting pulled over for reckless driving, supposedly. He gets pulled over. Hey, man, get out of the car, get out of the car. The dude looks up and sees probably the husband. He knows if this is what they're saying, somebody said it, if this is what they're saying, he's looking up at that cop going, oh, no, I've been banging that dude's old lady. Oh, no, he is not getting out of that car. They yank him out of the car. What does he do? They try to get him on the ground. He busts out running because he knows what he's going to get. They chase dude down. If that's what they're saying, if he did what they are saying he did, they're chasing him down. They all grab him. They all hold him. And that dude wore his face out. You can say, bow, bow, bow. So that does kind of make sense in that sense. And I'm just telling you now, I know people in this town. I know cops in this town. I have been told in Nashville, and I ain't going to say no names, I'm just going to tell the truth. They have told me, my police officer friends have told me, hey, if you beat on a woman, if you hurt a kid, or if you have hurt, shot, or killed a police officer, there is a spot in town here in Nashville where there's an alley that they have that they will take you to. Nobody knows where it is. They will take you up there and put in that work, and they will work you over. And that's what I heard. And they will do. That's why if y'all, everybody in this chat, if you ever wonder why when they show a picture of a suspect on a TV screen and the dude is all beat up, he's got black eyes, blood coming out of everywhere, like, damn, what happened to this guy? They took that dude to that alley somewhere in that city, whether it was Nashville, whether it was Memphis or whatever, and they put that work in on that boy because of what he did. I think if they're saying what that is, they put that work in on that dude because of what he did to that dude's wife, right? And they didn't know that they went too far on him. They beat that dude and beat that dude and beat that dude down. They must have cracked his head, did something to his brain to make him die 3 days later. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, ABL?
Yep.
So that's just my assumption. If that's what they're going off of, we've heard there's so much stuff going around. We'll never know. Maybe we can ask Al Sharpton because I'm sure he knows exactly what went on. And I know that man knows he knows everything that goes on in the hood. So maybe we can ask him. That's my 2 cents. I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't snitching on nobody. I ain't saying no name. But that's what Boom 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 Howard thinks, man. Hey, man, good show. This is an awesome show, by the way. Great chat. Shout out to the chat. This is an awesome night, man. And happy, man, I ain't even going to say it, man. I have to let you go, man. Peace out, dude.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Always a good call. You guys are always the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Let's get to some more here. 901, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL 901, it's Zach from Memphis. As shameful as that is to admit. But got to comment on the situation going on here. First of all, they got every race hustler in town here for this man's funeral today. It was kind of not shocking to say the least, but Greg Foreman on the Black Conservative Perspective channel had a nice clip of the video where Kamala and Al Sharpton and Crump and all of them were here for the funeral today. So, yeah, in the middle of an ice storm, too, that we're still under. So, Yes, they know no boundaries. And next, as far as the Memphis Police Department, take it from somebody that's been here their whole life, most of that department is made up of former gang members themselves. They just the gang members that didn't get caught doing any dirt out on the street and didn't rack up a criminal record. That's what you're seeing there. I mean, and auto theft task force, former car thieves, so it's not surprising to see the things that we're seeing here. And also on B. Tatum's channel, he had came out with something about the police chief, C.J. Davis, getting fired from the Atlanta Police Department for botching up a sex trafficking case out of Atlanta. So, it's nothing surprises me anymore, but I had to comment on that and just let y'all know, man, it's, this most of the police force here, a lot of them former gang members themselves that just didn't get caught.
It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
That's all I got.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.
Makes a lot of sense. You got these guys that used to be out there in the streets themselves and still got that street type of mentality to a certain extent. You're not going to be out there necessarily gang banging every night, but when that kind of situation happens where somebody's getting beat up, hey, you kind of resort back to that. If you don't have that gang mentality, that gang background, then you may not do something like that. Yeah, it makes sense. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And like I said, a lot of the standards have been reduced. So it's like, well, whose fault is that? That you got a lot of these former gang guys out there as police officers. 504, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
First I want to start off with about the police chief. So she was corrupted, and so when she was in Atlanta, she covered up for a coworker that had a husband that had illegal content with children in it and was doing stuff to children.
Okay.
Right. And then she got fired from that job, and then she was brought to Memphis, and now she's in this scandalous situation with these people because I think, as you and the others were saying, that they're hiring police that aren't really good, and because they're low on people, and it's just the people are corrupted in general.
So was she a chief in Atlanta, or was she just on the force? Like, what was her title in Atlanta? Do you know?
She was a chief. Now, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I read, she's a chief.
Okay.
She was a chief.
Gotcha.
She was in Atlanta, and then she upgraded. And in 2008 is when the scandal happened, and it was around around 96, 97. That's when she was down there, and she began, and she went up in the ranks, and she was promoted. And then 2008, that's the time period that this scandal happened. And then in 2009, the guy pled guilty, and then she went to Memphis. So the person was corrupted already before, this other incident that just occurred.
I see.
Right. And I was talking to Rebel Without a Reason on his show about that and different stuff. We had a good talk yesterday about it. And also want to bring up about the food. I talk about the farms, because Georgia Peach talks about it, and to me, and Atomic Tabasco was concerned about the food shortages. And yes, there's something going on with the chickens, with the feed that they're giving them, that the feed is causing chickens to not produce as much eggs, maybe, and also there's also a lot of chickens dying and whatnot. So, and also the prices have gone up.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's basically what's going on. And, they're attacking America from different angles, where they are using art of war tactics, where there's like a snake that bites you and a snake that attacks you from the back. They're attacking America through, Black Lives Matter, through the food, through the police. So they're attacking America from different angles rather than fighting America directly.
Of course, that's how a lot of the wars are fought nowadays. It's no longer necessary to do an outright ground war or air, like, how it was back in the day. You just try to bomb somebody to death. Now it's more of the internet and trying to subvert society from within, flooding them with drugs, flooding them with other kind of things they shouldn't be, trying to alter the mind of a person to get them that way, and then get into the food supply,
Right.
things like that.
Right. And China has a lot of, like concentration camps with Muslims and people in it, and the left and the media doesn't really talk about that. When, they claim that they're for minority groups, and they, China's persecuting everybody, Christians, everybody. And, the left doesn't talk about it because China has a lot of money through their financing companies and social media platforms and different things. And they're, causing a lot of destabilization.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. And yeah, that ice skater you just showed, I mean, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was totally crazy, but that's a sign of the times now. That's pretty much become a normal thing, unfortunately.
Right, and as I told you in the super chat, that's why the aliens are coming here, and so many of them are coming here probably because of all the strange things that are going on. And it just, that thing doesn't represent Finland. It's so stupid how so many mindless liberal zombies have been brainwashed into doing these things.
Right, exactly.
Right. And yes, also I want to say that, the vaccine, I think, it's causing a lot of different people to get sick and whatnot. And, from things that I've heard, and I want to bring that to your attention, that I do think that, it's good that, as I told you before, they're coming out about it because, it's having a bad effect.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Right. Also, I want to thank you for taking my call, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All righty. You guys are the best. Let's get to some more calls. All righty, Les, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
Everything's all good. About yourself?
Good. Thank you for asking. It is a great show, by the way. So far, it is lit again. Once again, you've done it. You have done yourself, sir.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you.
So I want to go ahead and talk about the whole case with Tyre. What's his last name? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Nichols.
There we go. And the infamous faces that we went ahead and witnessed there at his funeral.
Yes.
Who would have had known? I think we could have had already had pinpoint that even before his funeral was broadcasted that Mr. Al Sharpton would be there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was like anybody could have, if you were a betting person, you could put all the money on the table and bet on that. He most certainly is going to be there.
Right? No, and then it's interesting, right? Because he goes and gives a eulogy at Mr. Nichols' funeral, which, by the way, it's still a death. Okay, it's very unfortunate. There's a lot of components when things like that happen, such as grieving mother, things of that nature. So a life loss is a life loss, period. Okay. Now let's go back to Al Sharpton. He's over here giving eulogies at certain narratives that fit his agenda, right? The left's agenda. But where is he giving eulogies and speeches in one of the biggest cities, which is Chicago out here, where there's so much black on black crime? You're seeing children relaxing in their living rooms, playing in their bedrooms, eating dinner, getting shot through the windows and dying. Where is Al Sharpton out here giving these kinds of eulogies to these young black children that are dying in not only Chicago, ABL, but we all know in a lot of these bigger Democrat-run cities? Where is he?
Well, that's not really a moneymaker. That won't really get him a lot of attention. So he's not there for that. He's only there to capitalize off of things that kind of get the emotions running. And people just getting shot, just regular everyday stuff with no authority figure to blame, no white men to blame, no racial conflict to stoke. That's not really very good for business.
It's so unfortunate. And then it's like you kept on bringing up, BLM, and you were making great points. Well, where's BLM too? And in these kind of situations, they're not here. Why? Because they're continuously building their real estate portfolio again. But we all know that, and they've said this openly, BLM, that they are a Marxist movement. This is what Marxists do. This is what they want. It's all about the money grab, the power grab, and that's it. They don't care about anybody else. They only care about themselves. So, I mean, El Sharpton is just another great example of, the deep state's BS, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is, right?
Absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to go ahead and comment. Oh, and we were saying, where has Kamala Harris been all this time? Well, she made her first appearance in how long, ABL? 3 years?
I feel like it's been forever. I mean, I've not seen her since the campaign.
Right? Since that whole that thing that came out. I'm sorry, that story when she was supposedly the borders are, and she even went to go visit the border, but it was like the wrong border part of where we're having all these issues. Like, okay, it's been a while.
That's right.
That, and then I wanted to. Oh, you know what? Really quick, who was that individual that Tucker Carlson had on his news that night? I missed his name. I apologize.
What night was this?
You played the video of it. You couldn't show the video, but you just let us hear the audio.
Jason Whitlock.
There you go. So Mr. Whitlock has it right. Can we stop really focusing on, I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but in reality, the topics that divide us as Americans, and we need to stay united. Can we go back and focus in reality what's going on in Ukraine? Why is Putin coming out and saying that we have it all? What does he have exactly? So much evidence in regards to how the elites are all corrupted, and that was pretty much their breeding ground for all this corruption. Can we go back to, we want to see Epstein's list? Can we go back to a lot of really important things that the country really needs to be aware about, instead of, again, very, these kind of narratives where police brutality is out of control? Because if we really, really look at it, and we're really, really true, I think black on black crime rates are way, way significantly higher than police brutality on black men. So can we really go back to it in reality, what we need to know? The last thing, ABL, why are you hating on this ice princess?
Hey, you know what? The ice princess is not really ice princessing very well. I mean, I saw a 59-year-old man out there struggling to stay on his feet.
I was like, what, a 59-year-old trying to be an ice princess? This is starting to remind me of this whole Bruce Jenner thing. Like, at what age and you want to make a transition now? Like, what the heck is going on with this world? Oh my God, it is ridiculous. But everything you were saying in regards to your opinion in regards to that gentleman, it's very true. It's honestly, it was just something to die for in laughter. Okay. I personally, ABL, if I was that individual, I wouldn't even go out there and put myself through that embarrassment. But it's like you said, some kind of like tickle me fantasy. So I mean, I hope it rocked his socks off. Hopefully, right?
Hopefully so.
I just wanted to go ahead and say those two things there, and I wanted to give a shout out to all our law enforcement out there and military. Because they're very important. They're what keeps us safe, especially the good ones, right? Because where there's good, there's evil. But let's not forget that the majority of them, they're all here for us, for our country, and for us as individuals, for our safety, our freedoms. And I want to wish you all a wonderful night. ABL, God bless you. We'll see you Saturday. And God bless the chat. And the little patriots want to say good night. So come on, guys.
Good night, y'all.
Alrighty, you take care, BL.
All right, same to you.
Thank you, bye.
All right. Great call as always. Fantastic call. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get a video a thumbs up if you're not done so already. Let's get to some more calls here. Let's go to 860. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Sonia. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
All right. How's the new year treating you so far?
Oh, everything's all good. Can't complain at all. How about you?
All right. Listen, so if I understand correctly, you weren't feeling the transgender skater in Finland?
Yeah, I was not really feeling. I don't know what to call this particular person. I wasn't feeling them at all, especially when that part when they fell on the ice and could not get up. That was crazy.
I think she's or he, well, whatever. They identify as gender neutral woman, whatever that is.
I don't even know what that means. I have no clue. All I know is that were you born XX or XY? That's all I can really identify with.
Well, you realize you're a bigot, right? If she's not your type.
Oh, is that right? Wow, that's funny.
Now, I wasn't understanding too much about the 13-year-old and that youth basketball thing by you. Was it a grown woman pretending to be a kid?
Yes. So what happened was the 13-year-old was out of town at a different playing a game somewhere else, so they couldn't play in that game. So the 22-year-old adult woman impersonated
22?
her. 22, yes. Like the woman was one of the assistant coaches on the team.
Oh, so she took her spot.
Yeah, took her spot and said, "Okay, I'm gonna play in the game." Now,
Okay.
you're not a student. You don't go to this high school. You're not 13 years old. You're not the girl. So you just decided to go ahead as a fully grown woman, not a student, to play in the game instead of the 13-year-old.
But what normally happens in a case like that? Don't they have backup teammates?
Of course, backup teammates, or if you can't fill the roster, you just forfeit the game. But you can't put in you can't put it in the head coach or assistant coach and say, hey, you know what, I want to play now. It's like if I'm 35 years old, I didn't play European basketball, I'm 6'8", you know, I'm looking like Kobe or somebody, RIP. I'm looking like one of these guys and say, you know what, okay, one of my 14-year-old male students is not able to play the game, so I'm going to step in. It's like, nah, come on, you can't do that. It's like LeBron playing against high school boys. That's unfair and not allowed in the rules.
So it was really more like trans age.
Trans age, there you go.
That's kind of weird. And I think they lost their job over it.
Oh yeah, they got fired. Not only did the person get fired, both of the JV and varsity girls basketball teams forfeited the whole season. It just won't play anymore rest of the season. They're done.
Well, to be fair, it beats a man pretending to be a girl or competing with them.
Exactly. I was glad that it wasn't, at least was the same gender this time, rather than a man coming in there. Like I said, some guy that had already been overseas playing basketball, coming back to high school, trying to play against high school boys. I'm glad it wasn't that going on. Or playing against high school girls, which would have been a lot worse, obviously.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's like poor judgment. But I wanted to talk also about Memphis real quick because I'm with you. I couldn't see that funeral because to me it's a spectacle. It's distasteful. I mean, if you lose somebody for any reason and you don't even know these people, I don't know why you would even want them there. I think Crump was on the scene. And, well, I suppose you can't turn down Kamala, but it would be nice if they would say, no, thank you, it's going to be private. Remember when they showed up in Texas because of the Haitian situation where they were whipped and they were booed out of town? I wish they would do that whenever they try to come to these funerals.
I wish they would do something like that. But people, they kind of want to get caught up in they want the attention, the fame, the notoriety. They want that kind of stuff. And a lot of times the families kind of get roped into it because I don't think if not for all the national attention, this wouldn't have been no big funeral. It just would have been something at the graveside, probably, maybe even be cremated. And then that would have been a wrap. But now you got this whole big church thing and you got all kind of
choir.
Yeah, a choir. It was a spectacle. It was a mess. But I don't know. Sometimes.
And I think Reverend Al was saying that if the man they were chasing were white, he would still be alive.
Yeah, probably so. But you know, of course, we know that's not true. Sometimes you got white guys that also die in police custody. But if you're Al Sharpton, you could pretty much say whatever you want at this point in those situations. You could say the moon made of cheese. You could say the sky is purple and green and olive color. And people just going to believe it because they want to, because you're that guy that speaks at these black tragedies.
Well, my thing is this goes beyond police brutality for me. Whenever the altercation or the disagreement is between a white person or a black person, they always want to say it's racism. They look for it in every angle. It can't just be that the person had a bad day, that they were rude, that they have a bad attitude, that they have a bad temper. It always has to be racism.
Always. It's always that. It's never anything else. It just simplifies the whole thing down to race, race, race. And then that translates into other areas. Anytime anything bad happens, it can't be a matter of let's self-reflect and see what happened. Nah, racism.
And now they put a white cop in the mix, so that's going to be interesting because he ran away. He got, I guess, a pepper spray in his eye or something, and he lost his job too.
Yeah, they had to find some kind of white guy to blame because they were talking about white this and white that, although there was nobody white involved. Now they got a white guy. Now they can kind of justify talking about white guys, although he was not one of the ones that was involved in the beating.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going to leave you with this question because I don't know if you talked about it, but after DeMar Hamlin was at the game, all covered up, not looking at the camera, not talking to anybody, which seemed out of character because the whole point of him being there was to let everybody know he's doing okay. Did you see him talking after that? They put out a video, and if it's legit, I mean, if it's supposed to be him talking to the people, it was strange. Did you see it?
I did see it, yes.
What'd you think?
I thought it looked strange. I thought the video itself looked strange. Like, I don't want to be that guy that says it wasn't him, but it just looked strange. Like, the whole thing was strange from the beginning. It was like when they had him out there on the field, allegedly, it's like he was trying to hide himself, but it's like, why? All I want to do is just have more transparency. We all know that something was going on the football field. That was unnatural. It was strange. They were concealing his face. And you got to ask the question, why conceal the face? Why not?
And why go through all the trouble of going there if you're not going to address the people, at least just to say a few words?
Exactly. If you're not up to it and you're not feeling well, your face is not right, just stay at the house. We'll understand. We understand that if you're going through something like that after you almost died on the field, we get it.
Exactly. Okay, well, I'll keep listening. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
And you're welcome. Bye for now.
Yeah, the whole DeMar Hamlin thing was unnecessary. Now, I did see, like I said, I did see the video afterward where he addressed everybody. It was just overall strange. Who am I speaking to? 917 on the line.
Hi, ABL.
Hey, now, what's going on?
This is Corinne from NYC.
All righty.
Yeah, I just wanted to chat about that video. You had me dying in that video you did with the Ice Princess dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, that video, it did make me laugh. I was watching it on the bus. It was making me laugh, but it's deeper than that. It's really pathetic, and it's sad. It was making me think about the bigger picture here and what is going on, which I find disgusting. You know, I guess, I don't know if it was his dream. He said, whatever he was saying in Finnish, his dream to be a ice princess or something since he was a kid. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be ice princess, but I don't skate very well, so that's over now. That was no longer a dream for me, you know. So I was really disgusted watching him skate, barely skating on the ice, looking doofy, not graceful, and people just pretending that he's not bad and that he is an ice princess. And that's what was really, you know, sticking with me when watching that video. It's just like this push to like end meritocracy or something, to end, like, if you're bad, we're going to stand around and clap for you and say, oh, how great, how whatever they were saying, how stunning and brave. It's not stunning and brave. It's pathetic. Like, he's not good. He's not graceful. And people are trying to push you and bully you into pretending and lying that people that are bad at something are good at it. I'm sick of it.
I agree with you. I'm right there with you. But that seems to be what's going on nowadays, where people get praised for other things aside from actually accomplishing anything.
Right. So, you know, it's like everything. It's all of it. Just try walking around pretending a guy with a beard is, you know, because he's dressed up, have to pretend, okay, he's a girl, he's a woman. Like, it's like you have to lie, you know. That's what they want you to do. They want you to pretend and lie. Like, this person is graceful and stunning, you know, ice skating badly, looking like a dude. It's really sad, and I'm sickened by it. And I wish it would stop. I don't think it will, but I think people should just stand strong and just tell the truth. I feel like I want to wear a shirt, walk around with a shirt that says, tell the truth, because this needs to stop.
I agree, 100%.
So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about that crazy video with the Ice Princess. And, yeah, good job with the show tonight. And keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Very good call. You guys are doing great tonight with the calls. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill, how you doing, brother? It's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, okay, I guess. To the last caller, I just want to quote or misquote the great Thomas Sowell. People can forgive you when you make a mistake or you're wrong with your information, but they will never forgive you if you're correct and prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right on.
It sucks being right all the time. But, God, I don't mind being told when I'm wrong. But I'd like to say real quick, one of the chats a couple of shows ago when I said PSYOP as a plural, PSYOPs, I was talking about many different PSYOPs of psychological warfare being done out at the same time from different formats. And I got to thinking about Hollywood movies and cinema and how we went from Silence of the Lambs. What was the core issue there? Transgenderism.
Mm.
Yes. And then Alita, a movie a couple of years ago, where you got people that are half machine, half human, cyborgs, and people get chopped up for body parts, get sent to the Cloud City. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, that's what they're doing. They're basically telling us what they're going to do in advance, because they do that in China. They got a big market over there for forced organ harvesting. That's how you can get a liver in less than 2 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, it's horrific. But about that young man, Mr. Nichols, yeah, he should have cooperated, but they beat up white guys too. Because I told you I quit drinking over 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got a butt kicking by the Plantation Police Department. Plantation is a town there next to Davie, which is in the cluster of Fort Lauderdale. And I was at this country western bar. Now, I'm not a big fan of country western. I mean, I tolerate it okay. Everybody around me's country. But I grew up rock and roll, blues, Commodores, Lionel Richie, Aretha Franklin, city boy music, not, country. So, but I was trapped in my dad's semi-truck and force-fed country music from the 60s, 50s, and 70s, throughout my whole childhood. So I was at the bar singing karaoke, and this bar was 3 stories. And what the police were doing at closing time was arresting people for trespassing the parking lot of the bar because apparently they were getting noise complaints. I guess they wanted to shut the bar down. So I got arrested for trespassing the parking lot of the bar. And I'm not going to lie, I wasn't driving, but I was pretty drunk because apparently there's this law of nature that states the drunker you are, the better my singing sounds. You can take that to the bank. So anyway, I'm up there. I'm saying it's like, of course, I like movies like the Blues Brothers too. So I'm singing Tammy Wynette and Loretta Lynn songs too.
Wow.
And people are buying me drinks. So I got pretty drunk. That's the last night I drank. That was like 33 years ago, January of '88. But I'm walking to the car with my buddies, and the cops want to arrest me for trespassing the parking lot of the bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, no problem. And I'm drunk. But there's 6, I'm 5'6", okay? And I weighed about 145 pounds at the time. And these guys are all big corn-fed, Southern boys, except for the guy that was searching me. He was from Cleveland. And so he's searching me, and yes, sir. No, officer. Yes, officer. No, sir. Because it's trespass. It's a night in jail or a $25 fine. Well, I ain't got nothing else better to do. It's nothing. It's an annoyance. It's nothing to fight over. And so he pulls out my pocket knife and goes, aha, concealed weapon. That's another charge. And I'm like, and I swear to God, ABL, as God is my witness, I turned my head ever so slightly and said, excuse me, sir, would you please open up that knife? It won't cut hot butter. You know, if you stab someone with a lock blade, you run a better chance of hitting a bone and having the knife fold back on your fingers. I would never do that. Besides, AIDS was new back then, and everybody was kind of afraid of AIDS. And why would I want to have somebody's blood on my body? I didn't go to the bar to go out and fight. I went there to have fun. So I turned my head, and when I did, that cop grabbed the back of my head and smashed it into the hood of that squad car. He broke my nose, and it was bleeding out of both nostrils. And I went up to put my left hand up there, and I saw all the blood on my palm. And I looked at that cop out of the side of my head, and I put my hand on the hood. I kicked him in the gut and kicked him in the face with my cowboy boots on. And that was all she wrote. They beat me for about an hour in that parking lot, those other 5 cops. And then they got me down to Broward County Jail. They beat me for about another hour or 2, and then they hung me with my hands and feet up behind my back with my chest about 6 inches off the ground for about 8 hours. Yeah. So they don't just do it to black boys. They do it to white boys, too. But to me, that was the best thing that ever happened, because I have not had a drink of alcohol since then, because no way ever in stated English language, any language on the planet Earth, will the words al and alcohol ever be used in the same sentence in front of us. State attorney, public defender, or a judge. And that's all I got to say about that.
Right on, man.
I quit drinking. The hell with it.
That's probably the best move for you, man. Thank you for your calls always. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you have a good one, ABL. Take care. Bye.
All righty. Hey, it's like an unbelievable story, but people, I mean, they go through things. And that was something. I tell you what. I tell you what, that was something else. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody, sharing tonight. I really appreciate y'all. You guys are the best. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, LBL. It's Danny from the UK. How you doing, mate?
It's all good. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's been a while. I'm still watching all your shows, though. Still keeping up to date.
Glad to hear it. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So as for the Ice Princess, I mean, I don't think there's anything more feminine than a bloke in a dress breaking his ankles on the ice. You know what I mean?
Right. Crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with that. Few callers, that woman who was talking about him. I mean, I agree with her. I mean, I do find it quite disgusting. I mean, we're kind of putting up with these people who have, clearly have mental health issues and they need help. They shouldn't be, living their fantasies in broad daylight for us all to have to put up with and see. You know what I mean? I mean, really and truly, we kind of do need Batman to fling these people in Arkham Asylum and just get it done with. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like enough is enough with this stuff. You know what I mean? It's just these people clearly have, mental health problems and they need help. You can't be just like, letting these people just live out their fantasies, and yeah, it's pretty much all I've got to say about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have some kind of rules and standards people to follow. You can't just let people do whatever they want to do, because at a certain point, it begins to infringe upon other people's rights, and that's not okay.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just, I don't want to be harsh or blunt, but it's pathetic, really, isn't it? Just having to watch all this stuff and to sort of bite your lip and not say anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah, as for this, oh, sorry, I'll be quick with this Biden situation with the, the files and all that. I spoke to my mate about it recently, and I just mentioned it to him because I said to him before, before they tried to do it with Trump, and I said now they're sort of doing a similar thing with Biden, and he goes, "Oh well, they all do it, don't they? They all do the same thing. They all corrupt." And it's like, and then I start to think, is that kind of why they try to do all this stuff with Trump? They sort of accuse him of everything under the sun, so that when eventually it happens on the other side, they can just, so people can just say, "Oh well, they all do it. They all corrupt," and we kind of just don't really debate it, if you know what I mean.
Right.
I don't know if that's I kind of find that odd because as far as I know, they didn't get anything on Trump, did they? Right?
You said when I said it one more time.
So as far as I'm aware, they didn't find anything on Trump, did they? They didn't convict him of anything, did they?
No, nothing. They've been trying forever to find stuff on Trump. And I think maybe at a certain point they know there's not anything there, but if they keep doing these investigations and whatnot, they kind of poison the well, so to speak. So people that may not like conservatives or Trump, they say, "Oh, he's being investigated. Oh, there's always these allegations." Although there's never anything that sticks, just having the allegations is enough to make him appear to be a bad guy in the eyes of many people.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like like a false rape allegation that that some women, they'll say A, B, and C, and then eventually even the man might come out innocent in the end, but he's still tarnished with, "Oh, but he was accused of rape, so he might have done it," even though he's innocent. It still sticks with that person for a long time.
Exactly, 100%
And
correct.
I feel like that's a similar situation that you're still gonna get people out there who are like, "No, Trump did do it. He did have these files, and he's still corrupt and bad." And it's like, well, I think that's maybe one of the reasons why I guess they continue to do it, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So have you seen the Piers Morgan interview when he was interviewing a Black Lives Matter leader about the whole TJ Holmes situation?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so Piers Morgan, he's interviewing this woman, and she's like a Black Lives Matter leader or advocate or something. And I think they were debating a guy called Zuby. I don't know if you're aware of a guy called Zuby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was on it to talk about it as well. And again, some of the stuff that this woman was spewing, it was just the same rhetoric, white supremacy is to blame and blah 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 blah. You've heard it all before, and obviously Zuby said his piece, and it's a tough interview to watch because it's difficult watching these interviews when these people say these kind of things, and I know, I understand it's free speech and you got to let everyone say their piece and everything, but sometimes listening to these people is it's extremely difficult. You know what I mean? Like, just mentally, it's just difficult to sit through it. Like,
yeah, I mean, but it's like they're talking to their particular audience. Guys like you and I, when we hear that, we get turned off immediately. But to their people, they receive the information and it sounds good to them. So that's kind of how that goes. But I mean, I'm right there with you. Listening to those kind of people talk, I just at a certain point I can't really do it.
Yeah, like there was a bit at the end where Zuby says something like, it'd be great if we get to a place eventually where cases like this come up that we don't have to mention skin color, black or white, blah blah. And then she sort of bursts out and goes to him, "Oh, as a black man, I'm offended that you said that," or something like that. She said something like that, and it was kind of like, wait, if the reason why you probably said that is because if we stopped talking about races, you'd be out of a job, wouldn't you? You'd be out of money. So it's clearly like a grift for her, isn't it? She just obviously, what else would she be doing, right?
Exactly.
So it's just, again, hopefully one day we can, I guess if we let everyone say their piece, eventually people just clock on to this game, in it, I guess, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll hopefully people start to wake up, but I'm not quite sure. I think some people will wake up, and I think some are going to just stay asleep. I think they're going to get into an even deeper sleep. So hopefully the people that are asleep don't outnumber those of us that are really awake and understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, for real, man. Well, yeah, sorry, ABL, I don't want to take up your time. Great show again, and yeah, take care, mate. Take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, see you, mate. See you. Bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to the caller, and thank y'all for being here yet again. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And let's go to 929. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 929, hello. All right. Sorry, 929 didn't work out. 612, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Calling about the Columbus statue that got pulled down in Minnesota.
The what now?
So, the Columbus statue of Columbus they pulled down?
Oh, yeah.
So what's interesting about that is the Judicial Center is like right across the street. And they have these, all these strange sculpture gardens all over the Capitol grounds. But what's weird is, for some reason, the people who made these lamps in front of the Judicial Center, one of the lamps was made to be crooked on purpose. It was like the closest lamp to the Judicial Center. And this isn't it's not where Derek Chauvin had his trial or anything. They have trials there, but for some reason, the people that made the lamps made it just one lamp, the one that was closest to the Judicial Center. They made it crooked. And I was walking by there one day and I saw a National Guardsman and I pointed out to him and I was like, hey, you see this lamp over here? And he's like, yeah, it's like, it looks crooked, but from only one angle. Like the top of the lamp was perfectly level. But for some reason, it was like the person who made it as like a message. And about a year later, after talking to that guy, the lamp completely removed. Like they took it out. Like they were so bothered by the fact that this lamp had been there for like 25 years. They like took it down. It's just like this common thing that like leftists, when they see things that they don't like, they remove it. Like watching Democracy Now! When they were reporting on Michael Brown, and he was there was video footage of him strong arm robbing the guy in the store. But for some reason, Democracy Now! Cut it out right before he like was like intimidating the store clerk. And like another, this is my final point, is the Umbrella Man from the one that smashed the windows in the AutoZone, like right across the street from where CNN was doing the mostly peaceful, fiery protest kind of thing. They know that guy's name. They know he was a part of like a prison gang that's in Kentucky and in Minneapolis. For some reason, it's still part of an active investigation. And so he's still a free guy. But what's weird is there was this organization called Unicorn Riot, and they were out there in front of the police station, and they were interviewing people that whole night, like live streaming. And this guy comes on, and he's all flustered, and it's like, and you're like, what's this guy's deal? And he's like, this bike gang showed up, and they tried to get me to drive into the Mall of America, smash through the windows, and drive around. And I said no, and they stole my motorcycle. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So I'm like, I'm going back to the footage, and I look later. I'm like, see if I can find that. I'm looking through the whole footage, and it's not there. And I'm like, well, that's strange. I'll just look later. So I go later, and I go to Unicorns Riot's like YouTube page, and the video, the audio is out of sync. Like they took the video off, out of sync the audio and the video, and then they reposted it back on the website. And it's like, that's a little weird. Like, was that guy really crazy? Like, or did they try to get a patsy, like somebody who's maybe a little bit mentally unstable, but try to get him to do a crime for them so they can cause havoc? And it's like, why would they not arrest a neo-Nazi if they're after white supremacy? Why wouldn't they arrest him if he's the one that's on video causing damage, like the Umbrella Man that is? And it's just, oh man, it just stinks. It stinks so bad. Anyway, that's all I had to share for tonight. Love your show, ABL. Have a good night.
Thank you for your call, man. Appreciate you. Points are made. Shout out to my man for the call. You guys are the best audience. I know I can't do it without you. But yeah, it's a lot of that type of stuff going on all over the place. And I'm at the end of the show here. I might got time for one more maybe. But I think I'm at the end. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now. And if you want to hear this audio only for free, please go to your favorite audio streaming platform whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link will be in the description box. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And let's try one more here. 425, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. Great to be on your show.
Oh, likewise, man. What's happening?
You know, I was just listening to you for the last half hour and all your callers, and I just wanted to make a point. The thing I think that's happening is the narrative.
Hold on. Hold on. Before you start, you might want to get off speaker because you're kind of sounding a little bit distorted.
I'm here.
All right.
I'm on speakerphone, yes. Want me to turn it off?
Yeah, because your sound is kind of not really good on speakerphone.
How about now?
Much better. All right, go for it.
How about now, ABL?
Much better. Go for it.
Okay. So I think the point I want to make is about the narrative is that everything, like if you talk about black and black crime, they talk about there's riot, and you talk about that publicly, then there'll be rioting, they'll burn everything down, but they don't allow the public to talk about the narrative of maybe the problem, the core problem with the black family, or maybe the reason for those crimes. And then the same thing with like when they talk about public education, now all of a sudden they say all we talk about is transgenderism or, you know, all these other things, but the public never gets to talk about school choice or the things that are really important to people. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
That they always seem to want to, the left in particular, they always want to change the narrative. So we spend all our time talking about these narratives that have nothing to do with what people really want. You know, that, right? We spend all our time talking about transgenderism or a gay ice skater or whatever this person is who's ice skating as a man, and every time it takes the discussion away from what people really want to talk about or what's really important.
So what do they really want to talk about?
Pardon?
So what do they really want to talk about?
I think people are more concerned about the economy or safety of their neighborhood or the values of how government is behaving or the cost of things. And when they continue to do that, they're eroding American society, right?
Okay. I mean, so like, maybe I don't understand. So are you saying that the other things should not get spoken about?
No. I don't mind that you're talking about that, but I'm just making the point that the left always brings up these things like, regards to, instead of talking about school choice as a positive thing, you bring up school choice, and then, they bring up this. We have this whole discussion in public constantly about that's all you hear about is about that they're going to have CRT or all these other things, and so that's that's a minority. What people don't want that, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I just find it interesting that they continue to erode away that kind of core, the core ideology of what most people want, and trying to replace it with all these things that people don't want, right?
It makes sense. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
All right, I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller, but that will be a wrap for me. We are at the 11 o'clock hour. Thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you couldn't get on tonight, it's not my fault. Y'all know who to blame. Blame the white man. Don't blame me. And I'll be back live again on Saturday at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm here all the time, Monday through Saturday, doing pre-recorded videos. Check me on Instagram, of course. Check me on Facebook. Check me on Twitter, all those places. I do have a TikTok account. I have a TikTok, but I don't upload to it really. But I have it just because I know I'm going to need it, even if I don't use it. It's kind of weird. But anyway, you guys are great. I got a handful of super chats here, and then I'm going to roll it on out, wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Thank you to Matthew, who says, love you, ABL, love you right back, boss. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, Judge Abrams, 1981 battery on a Leo, but not convicted. I fired my public defender and won, adjudicated and sealed. Also, if your blood ain't boiling, must be clotting. Whoops, there you go. Thank you to S4 who says peace and good night, love to all. Thank you for that. But I think that'll be a wrap. Shout out to all the mods for keeping the trolls nice and in check and the chat nice and clean. Thank you to you guys for being great, for retweeting, for sharing, for chatting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I thank you. I couldn't do it without you. And that will be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.